Howdy, howdy.
Good morning.
Good evening.
We are back for another fine Sunday. How's everybody's week? Did you guys do anything fun?
Oh, I blinked and the weekend was over. Monday morning for me now, so back to the grind. But it's
I
a
bet.
nice way to start the week here with my mates, so I'm happy.
Absolutely. How'd you guys all make it through Christmas? Everybody stay intact?
Still here.
All good here.
Made
Yeah.
it through?
What about you with all the cheesecake and everything you had over at your house?
Man, I did good. I was so happy. It was so fun to not only have to go buy that crap, but have absolutely no cravings for it at all. And it was just the weirdest thing. Do you know how absolutely ridiculous it is to have a Costco cheesecake in my fridge for 4 days and never touch it?
I bet.
That would have never happened before. You would have saw me in there at 2 a.m. with cheesecake up to my ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like an animal in there going for it.
Oh, I made a bunch of salads for my girls because they love the salads with my prime rib that I did in the smoker. And as soon as we'd finished lunch, I packed it all up into little containers and I sent it home with my daughter. So there was no salads left over, so I couldn't, even if I wanted to. It was all gone out of the house, which is the way I'd like to deal with it.
Right.
Because I hate to waste it. And yeah, she rang me the next day and her and her partner had it for lunch the next day and the day after. So
Awesome.
they were stoked. Yeah. Hi,
That's
Missy.
Awesome. Hey, Missy. Yeah, it is.
Maker.
It is a weird thing. I knew. So my family fell off carnivore for the holidays, and I knew it was probably going to happen because my sister wasn't talking to me as much starting around Thanksgiving, really. And then all of a sudden they start having more colds in their house. She's like, "Oh, I think we caught this bug. I think we caught that bug." I'm like, "I think you have the carnivore or the sugar bug. You fell off carnivore." And that was happening. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm not eating very good right now." I'm like, "Well, why don't we fix that? Don't wait till after the holidays." But of course, they all wanted to wait after the holidays. And so I'm like, "Well, you do whatever you want." And then so they spent the last 3 weeks her whole house sick. And then because of that, mom wanted to have a splurge for the holidays. I'm like, "Fine, you're in your 80s, so you get to pick what you want. What do you want?" And she wanted cheesecake and pie. So I got her cheesecake and pie from Costco. And it made me a little sick wanting to order it. But then I got here, and you know how Costco's quantities of stuff is. They're huge. So I was like, she cannot eat all this food because she'll get really sick if she eats all this. So I told my sister, I'm like, "You better come get some of this because I don't want mom eating all of this or she's going to be in a world of hurt." So they came and got 3/4 of each of it. And, but mom still was in rough shape yesterday. And I was talking to her and she goes, "Man, I'm just so weak and I can't walk and I don't feel good. And I'm so shaky." She goes, "We have to," and she always says "we" when she decides that she's, making a big change. She's like, "We have to really stick to this carnivore." Like, "Yes, we do, mom." And so then she starts, when she's not feeling good, she gets a little ornery. So then she starts giving me a list of all the carnivore food she wants. And I'm like, "Okay." And so I was taking it down. And I said, "Well, what did you eat today?" And she goes, "Well, I had cheesecake, I had pecan pie, I had sweet potato casserole, I had mashed potatoes, I had green bean casserole, I had what's the red crap? The cranberry sauce."
Cranberries, a lot of sugar in that.
Yeah, cranberry sauce. And I'm like, "Did you get any protein today, mom?" I didn't hear any, and I think we identified the only protein she got was from the bacon bit crumbles that was on the green bean casserole. So, but it was just a funny kind of learning weekend because that turned mom's head around. And so we sat there in the misery yesterday and I said, "So what did we learn?" was that worth it? Did the cheesecake and the pecan pie taste good enough to feel like this right now? And she's like, no, it does not. It didn't even taste good. I'm like, right? Never tastes like we remember it tasting. It's not, it's our brains are trying to trick us into it, and you just got to get all the way through it, Mom. So anyhow, now we got a game plan for going back to all the roasts with the gravy and going back
Right.
to bacon and eggs and all the basics and making the power bowls. And so we're doing all that again. So it's good. And then my sister was like, I have got to get back on carnivore, I'm like, really? And she goes, I feel so terrible. My joints are inflamed. I can't walk. I'm gaining weight, can't breathe. And I'm like, what are we doing here?
Going backwards.
It is. So that in itself was enough of, of just a reality check for me, just watching it happen to go, this is why we stay carnivore. This is why, that. And when I open, I always have funny things I like to say to myself when I open the fridge and I see the cheesecake. I'm like, you are the reason why I have man boobs. So we're not doing that again. So we're about got these suckers gone. We're not going down that road again. Just funny stuff, but it's the truth. It's the stuff that we all struggle with, and it's fun to see it. I didn't have to say anything. Mom called me into the living room and she
brought it up.
Yeah, she wanted
good.
carnivore food because she was feeling it. So here's what I will say. I didn't have to lecture anybody or bring up anything. They know what carnivore is now because we were successful long enough having them on it. And they know what this feels like. And they know now that the food didn't taste good like they thought it was gonna, and it was not worth it. So both of them brought it up to me and said, I got to get back on carnivore, So I felt like that was actually a pretty good win this weekend.
It is a win. And sometimes you just need a reminder that, this is why we're doing carnivore, because you don't want to be hurting anymore. So
for sure,
it's a scary place to be.
100%. It really is. So, while and it is really quite, especially with my mom, that's quite the achievement, right? Because a year ago, I had to argue a lot to get her
to even go.
Yeah.
To do it. And so now I'm just like, all right, you're in your 80s, you do what you want to do. And what she wanted to do was get back on carnivore because she felt terrible. And so I'm like, there we go. We're believe it or not, we're making progress, right? We are making progress. So
is your mum waiting to the first as well, or she started now?
No, she started now. My sister decided she's waiting to the first. I'm like, yeah, because Lord knows you should feel sick for 2 more days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
For sure.
I don't know. The first seems to be like I started my carnivore journey on the first and I failed within like 2 hours. So my official anniversary is the 3rd because that's when I started, because the first failed for me. So third's my lucky number now.
Mine was the first, but you guys know me enough to know that I'm mental. So, I drive myself nuts if I quit on stuff like that. So you guys know I'm crazy that way. But I was thinking about that. We have all this planning going on, and we forgot that either this or next Sunday should be our anniversary special because we're going through it again.
Oh,
yeah, we got
special guests next week. So she can celebrate with us. Oh,
for sure.
No, that's the different one, isn't it?
No, I think that's right.
Next week, so
2
days late.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll celebrate it next week. But yeah, it's pretty awesome because we got so busy we didn't even realize we hit another anniversary.
It's how fast time goes by, yeah.
For sure. It absolutely is. So really fun. And then I don't know. I finally really identified for certain that this last 2 weeks, the reason why I've been going through all this itching and stuff has been an absolute massive oxalate dump. Man, I've been going through one of those. Whew.
Yeah.
Right now, I feel like taking, I don't know, like a Sawzall and modifying like one of those garden rakes, putting it on a Sawzall and running it up and down the back of my legs until I hit bone. It is so itchy. Good Lord, it's itchy.
Yeah, I had that for about 3 weeks, but mine's okay now. Do you put tallow on your legs or?
I never have. No, I didn't know that was.
It helped put tallow on, it just relieves the itching almost immediately.
I should try that. Good
Yeah.
Lord. You know what Cosette's going to do me if I'm running around with towel legs?
Lick. Yep.
Yeah.
Not bacon grease. Tallow, she probably doesn't smell it. Yeah,
Hopefully
you're in
not.
trouble if you rub bacon grease all over your legs, but the tallow
Bacon grease. Yeah.
might not
I'll
do
tell you
it.
what, if I rub bacon grease on my legs, that dang basset hound will break down my door. Come in and start dragging me out by the legs.
That's right.
Oh man. But yeah. I don't know. Oxalate dumping is real. I don't know what I did to cause this. Well, yeah, I do. I ate bad for 39 years.
B-Dog just had one too. Back
Yeah.
in September. Yep.
They're real.
Yep. They are. I had them. Yep.
Yeah. This time is really weird. It's like I have. You ever been shot with a high-power BB gun and you get the BB under your skin?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay. Well, that's what
You
it
haven't
feels
lived then, Lindy.
Yeah, you didn't. You didn't have a childhood.
I know, sheltered.
I was always used to getting them right here in the arm because you put your hand up when you saw it.
Yeah.
You'd always get one right here on the arm. Man, I had a bunch of those. You'd end up digging
Or
them
the
out.
butt. Yep.
Yeah, remember back in the day when kids, I literally carried a buck knife back then to dig out BBs because we would get them under the skin. Good old days. But you had to protect your eyes. You didn't want to. We didn't want to hear you shot your eye out, you moron. But that's what it feels like. It feels like I have, I don't know, somewhere around 25 BBs under the skin on the back of my legs. And then they sit there and they itch and you itch them. And then tiny little crystals come out is what they're pushing out. Little crystals. They look like agates almost, or like really hard tree sap, kind of how it's that there's a word for it, like ivory, or not ivory. What's that word where tree sap's kind of translucent or whatever, but real hard? You kind of see through it. Like remember in Jurassic Park when the mosquito was in the sap?
Oh,
there's a word for that.
Yeah, amber. No.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I can't think of it right now.
Well, anyhow, that's what it feels. That's what those little oxalate crystals to me look like. Is those?
Yep. Amber. Yep.
Amber.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, that's what it feels like. And the reason why I can't come up with words today is because the oxalate dumping's got serious choppy brain today. God, it's making me mad. Well, I got to get a new microphone too. It's making me mad. When I get back.
You're having a bad day, Todd.
I am having a bad day right now. I think my camera equipment and my microphone are oxalate dumping too. All right. Let's see. We got some starred comments yet? Yeah, we do.
Yes, we do. Well,
here we go. Off to the races. I'll let you read them, Lindy, because my eyeballs are not working.
Oh, I'll put my glasses on. Day 90 on Carnivore. Hi, Carnivore Odyssey. And still holding firm to Michael's advice to wait until day 100 to have my first weigh-in since the beginning. Doing a 12-day fast to complete the 100 days. Happy birthday. 12-day fast. Oh, you're going to be a machine like these guys.
That's a whole lot of fasting. Congratulations, man. That's huge.
We actually celebrated last anniversary with a 5-day fast. I don't know if it's celebrated, more like punished, but that was really good. I felt awesome after that.
That's a good deal. That's actually good. Are we going to do that again? We should talk.
I don't know.
Lindy, sorry you brought it up now.
No, I was going to raise it before, and then you got stuck into oxalate talk. And I thought, and then I lost it.
Because
do you want to? Yeah, I want to. I'd like to give it a try.
All right, let's do it.
But we need a new app because didn't our app close down?
Yeah, we got it. There's a new one now that we're using.
You got a new one? Yeah. Maybe you can post the link.
It's called Easy Fast. I don't know if they have it on Apple, but it's up on Android. Check it. There's an app called Easy Fast, but there's no. It's single user. It's not multi-user, but there's no fees. You get all access to everything. It's awesome. I love it.
That's awesome.
Do you get the little badges? I used to like the badges.
Yeah, it's got the badges up there. It looks just like what we used before.
Oh, okay. Nice.
That's awesome. Well, I'm down for 5 or 7 or 10 or 12-day fast, whatever you guys want to do.
5 max for me.
5? Let's do a 5. Right, if you guys are down.
You guys can continue.
I was planning on doing it anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
really? You're just gonna leave us out, and you're just gonna leave us hanging on the first of the new year, huh?
Who?
You?
Me?
Yeah.
I wanted to do one through Christmas, but man, I've been so hungry.
I do have to say though, I got to start after I get back from Mesa because I already bought all-you-can-eat buffet ticket for the house. So stipulation number
All right.
one.
So when you come, well, then you want to hold off another week.
Well, we could start next Sunday, right? Because next
All right.
Sunday,
So we start on the 5th, Lindy 6th.
I think so. Yeah, basically when.
All right.
Yeah, next
All right, so-
Sunday.
That gives me
So-
time to prime properly. So
Right.
And honestly,
So-
it might be next Monday because I'm going to be with Bella and Max on that Sunday. And I'm going to be driving back Sunday. So I'm probably going to eat on Sunday with Bella and Max if I had to
Right.
guess.
One last time, huh?
Yeah. So I would, because we're going to be in Vegas and we're probably going to go to the Wicked Spoon. So if I had to get, no, we're not. Don't say shit on live television. What am I saying? But,
Now
yeah,
look at. Can't start it on the first, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Hooligan fish. I was going to say you can't
Right.
start this on the first. We're eating together at heart. Yeah, well, there you go.
For sure. But yeah, when I get back,
Always
from,
an excuse.
I know I'm always coming up with something to be slack.
All right. So we'll start on the 6th then.
The 6th sounds
All
good.
right.
And so 7th for Lindy.
Yeah. And so, all right, how am I going to do this? So I'm going to start on the 6th at 11 a.m. because that's how I do my long fast because it gets me through the first ones. I like to eat until 11, start the fast at 11 because then by the time I'm hungry, I'm in bed and then I wake up
No,
completely in a
best way to do it.
fast. Yeah,
I agree. Yep.
and I roll into it. So I'm going to start at 11 a.m. on the 6th, or I might maybe between 10 and 11 a.m., but wherever I get my first steak in there.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to do it because usually the first hunger is the worst.
Yeah, for sure. I 100% agree. And I've found that's my favorite fasting hack for all you guys out there. If you eat between like 10 and like noon, right in there, then you won't be hungry because most people automatically can do an OMAD standing on their head.
Yep.
So you'll be sleeping through that worst hunger part. So when you wake up, you'll be 18 plus hours into it. And then most people aren't hungry when they first wake up. So really you can get 24 hours into it before you hit the second kind of hunger period. So you kind of sleep through the worst of it. So
Sounds
right.
good. I'm excited now.
There we go. We're doing it. We're doing it. Tap that like button. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, Tim. Always looking out for us.
Yes, Tim is awesome.
I know it's been a while.
Madonna's out there living the good life in the desert of Arizona right now. It looks awesome there. Beautiful.
Is that your actual van? Because that looks so cool with all the colors.
That's cool.
To see a bigger picture. Like, is it flowers or?
No, it looks like it's covered in meat.
Cuts of meat, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's the meat wagon.
Oh, okay. I can't really see. It's so tiny on here.
Yep.
That's awesome. Got to give some love to Rumble too. I wish everyone would just come over here. Oh, I appreciate it, Hooligan. Hooligan's holding down the fort over here in the chat on Rumble. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I've set one up, but I don't use it yet.
We're going to start doing some more fun stuff at the first of the year on Rumble. We're going to start doing some Rumble only lives, get some people over here. And because, we do got to populate Rumble because we got a new administration coming in. We all get to flip the finger at Big Pharma and Big Food this next 4 years. So we need to have a platform where we can do it with style. So looking forward to it.
G'day, Lindy. I'm new to your channel and fairly new to this lifestyle. Hi, Sandra. You're an Aussie too? Where are you from, Sandra?
The G-Day is almost a dead giveaway, isn't it?
G-Day. G'day.
That's funny.
Black Pearls of Wisdom Tarot. Hello, I'm nearing my 1 month on Carnivore. You all inspire me so much. I've always been overweight since puberty. I don't know what to expect from this, but I have several health issues.
Well, hopefully this fixes it for you.
For sure.
Yep. Good job in 1 month.
Yeah, that's the tough one. Just start stacking days on, and things will get better for sure.
Yeah, and it's a slow process. Like I remember at the start, I was like, I'm never going to get to 1 year, and now look at me, I'm 3 years in.
Yep.
It's like, what happened? It's like I've blinked and I've lost 3 years of my life, but I've improved. I've gone from the couch and I'm out and about and traveling and doing all sorts of things.
Never
Thought I would.
Yep.
Never thought I'd have this second chance at life again. So
It's awesome.
but just hang in there. That 1 year will creep up very quickly.
Yeah, days go by fast.
For sure.
Neither Masha are not tempted by a bag of chocolate. Guess that means not addicted. I think he was given a bag of chocolate for his Christmas party or something, and it's sitting on his washing machine or something. Yeah.
Co-worker gave it to him. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, on this topic, I'm gonna bring up the controversy here. So put in the chat. I'd love to hear everybody's split here. Put in the chat whether you believe once an addict, always an addict, or if you think you can fully recover and be free from addiction. That's something that I would like to know the consensus on. That's really piqued my interest lately. So put in the chat what you guys think.
I thought you were going to ask frozen steak or not.
No, heck no.
I was ready to say I've got a frozen carnivore bar here.
Those are delicious.
Right,
frozen carnivore bars are delicious.
I'm like, yeah, I got to get you. Yeah, that's frozen, and it's so good.
Those are way
I'm hungry,
better.
so I got that too. I feel like it's a guilty pleasure,
right?
Like it looks like it, what, but it's not.
Right, it's not a chocolate bar,
I
but
love it. It's so filling.
I will tell you this: if you do get the carnivore bars, and if you do put them in the freezer, then I do recommend maybe a pickled jalapeno here or there on top. They are delicious.
No, this is an unsalted, and I've got a honey one as well. Bella bought them over because we can't get them here in Australia.
So that's kind of almost
this is it, unsalted. Yeah, so I'll have to make it last. I might even just have it half because that's all I can eat, just half of one. Takes the edge off, and then I'll put it back in the freezer.
That's awesome. Carnivore bars needs to start shipping to Australia, for crying out loud. You're missing a whole continent.
I would buy
how much they charge for them.
Yeah, the shipping would be more than the carnivore bars, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah, but they're pretty good. I'd buy them still. I look forward to these every week. I always listen while closing up the shop and then driving home from work. Oh, thank you, Missy.
Thanks so much.
I tried an experiment and had a piece of non-carny cheesecake to see what would happen and didn't even finish it. It was nice, but didn't make me go back to wanting sugar and crap. Answers my question about my addiction. Oh, good.
That's awesome.
That's a great experiment.
That is awesome. Let's see how we're doing with our question. We have who are they?
I got some start, but
okay, start some. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go down and see how we're doing. You can 100% kick addiction to the curb. I think so too.
I think so too.
That's the team I'm on.
But I also think it's easy to go back on it if you overdo it.
For sure. Well, yeah, I think so too. I think I get both sides of it. I really do. But I think it's just because my definition of it, which is probably wrong, but it just is. I don't see it at probably the clinical definition or whatever, because I think that it's not continuing to be an addict. It's getting re-addicted when you partake and then you go back to compulsive addictive behaviors. But because there's an argument that if you abstain and instead of moderate an addiction, then you don't know if you're free from the addiction because you're just not tempting yourself or taking in your addiction or controlling your addiction. I personally think that controlling your addiction is being able to not partake, is being able to abstain from your addiction. That's what I think control of an addiction is because for sure I can't moderate sugar. Heck no, I can't moderate nothing. I'm terrible at moderation, as it is. I mean, I can't even moderate doing YouTube. I love spending hours and hours on here. I don't moderate crap. But I know that about myself. But the difference is back then I could not, I couldn't abstain from it either. So once I was hooked on something, I couldn't abstain from it. It would drive me crazy and I'd give in. How about you guys?
Yeah, once I got the off switch and I was pretty much going really well with the carnivore, and I was fine. And I would actually put myself in positions like Anna and just like challenge myself, go to a function and then just watch everybody else eat the cheesecakes and stuff. And it wouldn't faze me at all. I'd be there talking to people. Didn't worry me at all. But then I did have a bit of a crash when I came back from Texas and everything went sort of, I think it was more an emotional, I needed that emotional fix, if you like, because I always turn to food for comfort. And I think that's what got me. But now that I'm back on and I've got my off switch and I'm fine again now. But I think when the world looks really gloom and things happen, you've just got to be very aware of it and don't put yourself in those challenging positions, because I think when you're at your weakest and you do let that one little thing in, then you can spiral very easily. I find I do anyway. So I'm not saying it's an addiction. I think it's more of a comfort thing, because that's what I've always been drawn to when things are looking a bit sad. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I'm just going to put some of these up here. So Jewel says, once an addict, always an addict, and always an addict. Even though I can stay away from my old junk foods, I think if I tried to dabble, it would be a problem for sure. I 100% agree with this, and that goes right here as well. I agree with this, but I guess my question, this is just an honest question because I have no idea the I don't know, I guess the clinical terms of addiction and whatever is. So if being an addict means that you can't dabble with addicted things and then not control them, what is being able to abstain, and what is never have tried something that was addictive? Like I would like to know those three definitions. So something that you tried, got addicted to, and then through whatever means you got away from it and you're now able to abstain from it, right? So whatever that is versus never of trying anything and going, never trying anything like let's just say heroin or meth, right? If you've never tried it, but you also are able to abstain from it, versus trying something and not being able to abstain from it. Okay, so you see those three kind of definitions. There's one where you tried it, you were addicted to it, and now you can abstain from it. One that that you tried it and you can't abstain from it, and one that you've never tried it and a certain addictive substance. Because that's what I'm trying to figure out, what those three definitions for those three things would be. Because in my mind, I tried sugar, I became addicted to sugar. There was a long period of my life where I couldn't abstain from sugar. Carnivore gave me the satiation and the hormones and the health to be able to finally abstain from sugar. And I don't have cravings for sugar anymore. So I feel like I'm no longer an addict. But what I get told sometimes, which I'm not saying that's wrong because I really don't know. I feel like it's wrong, but I don't know. It's at least my definition of addiction. It feels wrong. That just because I abstain from eating sugar doesn't mean that I'm free from the addiction of sugar, because the only way you could tell is if you ate small amounts of sugar and controlled it. So, but then my question would be, does that mean I'm also a heroin addict because I've never tried heroin? But the only way you can prove that you're not an addict is if you can take very addictive things and control it. And wouldn't that mean that we're all addicts at some level, because I don't know. I would say that there's probably not very many people that can moderate heroin or those types of drugs with any type of success without going overboard and becoming an addict. And so I don't know. I don't know how to think about that, because I feel like I look at sugar like I look at heroin now. That says addictive. These things are addictive, and sugar, is provably more addictive than heroin, right? So it's not surprising at all that I would be addicted and not be able to moderate sugar, and it's not surprising at all that I wouldn't be able to get re-addicted to sugar. But that doesn't leave any room then. Yeah, and it doesn't mean that the only way that I defined being free from addiction or healed from addiction is the fact that I can, with ease, stick to my guns and not give in or have cravings for it, and be able to abstain from it altogether. That's what I feel is freedom from addiction. I don't understand the logic that says that to prove that to be truly free from addiction, you would have to be able to moderate really addictive substances. I think that you're fighting a real uphill battle and you're treading water to try to play with something that's so addictive, especially if you have real addictive tendencies. And like, I don't understand the purpose of that. I don't understand why you would want to moderate those things and play with fire, I guess is what I'm saying. Unless, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the chat.
It's like when your mum says, don't touch, it's hot. What do? You touch it and you burn yourself. Right. And I think sugar's the same thing. You can't moderate it. I can't anyway. Yeah, it's one of the things that I'm not supposed to touch. But yeah, I do think it's more, if you use sugar for comfort, like we've all grown up eating it. It was never like we didn't know what we know now.
Right.
So yeah.
All right, I got to bring. Let's see. This is a fun conversation. I didn't know I was going to start crap today, but I want to get into this conversation. So Damon, love Damon. So Damon's in the SBG. I have all the respect in the world for him. Damon, I got to ask you. Avoidance is not a cure, which I agree with, but I don't avoid it. I'm like, this is what I've been sending these guys pictures of the stuff that's around me. Like, I had to go into the bakery and buy the guys a bunch of. Because the guys that work for us, we bring them in coffee, donuts, pastries, muffins and crap on Monday mornings. My family's gone that usually does that on vacation, so I had to go do it. So I was exposed to it. Like I said, my mom wanted cheesecake and crap, and I went and got her. So I'm exposed to this stuff all the time. I'm not like avoiding it. I don't run from it. I don't fear it. Now, what I am saying is that when I'm there, I don't crave it, and I have all the willpower to not partake in it. But I do agree that if I did partake in it, especially if I talked myself into being able to do it twice or three times, I think I'd just go off a cliff and I'd be gonzo. But knowing that I'm not letting my guard down at all. Like, I know that stuff will ruin me. Like, I really look at sugar like it's, crack cocaine, like it like going off the cliff and just OD, and it's just going to be the ruin of me if I touch that stuff. But I don't know if that makes me an addict, then what do you call what healed, where I used to not be able to abstain, and I couldn't have went and bought that cheesecake for my mom and had it in the fridge without going and eating it. There was a 39-year period of my life where that was not an option. I was going to be in that thing, eating that thing no matter what. So then what do you call what happened to where it can be in the fridge now and I don't crave it at all? Like, I don't have any weakness to it. Like, that's what I really want to find out, what healed, what's the definition, and is there any way to get truly free from addiction while still respecting the danger of our addictive nature and personalities and the addictive pull of certain substances. That's what's in my head that I'm trying to figure out, because I don't know, and I really want to know the answer to it.
Oh, it was desperation. We wanted something to work. We were all had our one foot in the grave. We wanted carnivore to work. We wanted to feel great. And it was difficult to start. And once we got that off switch that we've all never had,
Yep.
things just became easier. But we were in such a bad place that we couldn't risk going backwards. And we knew what we were doing was going to put us in the grave ASAP. So
For sure. 100%. And that's why I don't know, I'm so excited, because Dr. Phil's going to be doing this Finding Your Why course with the admin of SBG, kind of helping us understand mental health and addiction better, which I'm looking forward to. And that's why that's why I want to have these conversations. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I have any clue what it is. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it. Jules, Todd didn't intend to start something too
not
late.
at all.
This is why I love this community, though. I'm not going to name names, but other communities, you even start to ask these tough questions to try to understand, and then everybody freaks out, and then it's a big hurt feelings thing, where that's not the intent at all. We got to be able to have hard conversations to get to the bottom of things, All right,
That's not a one size fits all, is it? Like,
No.
we've all got our different reasons and why we're on it and how we've stayed on plan. It's different for everybody. It's nice to be able to butt heads and talk about it.
Yeah, let's see. I want to make sure I didn't miss one from Damon before too.
I don't think so.
Okay, so if your concern is that
If
oh, if I thought you were saying okay, there you go. If your concern is that you will develop a physical dependency on sugar, you needn't worry. That kind of addiction, like one might have to heroin, is simply not going to happen. Okay, so you can't.
Psychological dependence.
Oh, psychological dependence. Okay, I got what you're saying. I don't know. I don't know the different types of those addictions. I really don't know. I mean, here's what I do know is that my dad was addicted to sugar enough that it was literally killing him, and he was losing his circulation, and he was about to have a leg amputated, and he had cancer, and he had stage 2, or no, what was it? Stage 3? What's the one where you have to be on a dialysis? Is that kidney or liver?
It's kidney.
Okay, so because he was doing the dialysis and he was stage 3, so obviously he was dying. But all the way through that, as those things progressed, he could not stop drinking soda, and he would still eat ice cream, right? And he'd get sicker and sicker, and that got him. And and this is not a question. What kind of if that's not psychological, is it physical? Or what kind of addiction does sugar give us? Because I don't know what those addictions give you. I don't know what kind of sugar addiction gives you. That'd be something interesting to look. I haven't looked really closely into this because I got so free from it from Carnivore. I got that off switch, and so I was just like, oh, well, I guess we'll see how that works. But I just haven't had the pull at all. So I haven't looked closely into this until lately, because I really would like to know the definition, because I don't know what kind of addiction that is, then what kind of addiction sugar is. Or what I guess you're saying there's physical, psychological, and somebody said there was even a third kind, I think, once. Let's answer this one real quick. What would be the reason to join Bella's steak and butter?
SPG.
Yeah. So first and foremost is community. What people don't understand, and I didn't realize that people didn't understand this, and there's probably a bunch of SBG people in the chat, so shout out what you guys like about it in the chat. But it's a community. And so if you don't know this, what goes on there is that 5 days a week we have open chats called Chew the Fat, which are Zoom chats. So you get to get on camera. You can leave your camera off or on. You can speak or just listen. You raise your hand, but there's usually 20 to 40 people in there at a time. And they're all carnivores. And there's a couple admins. I'm in there a lot. Lindy's in there a lot. Alyssa is in there a lot. Dr. Phil comes in there sometimes. And those chats are just about getting you orientated and then helping you through the small nuances of starting carnivore so that you understand it, because there's a lot of nuances in carnivore. But also, in addition to that, we have Zoom chats where we have priming meetings, which is how to do a nourishing form of carnivore that is really going to focus on getting your body all the nourishment deficits that your body's in, getting you up to speed and getting your body the nourishment that it needs to heal, and then going into fasting after that for more healing and to lean out. And so there's those two programs. There's also sugar addiction meetings where people talk about the best ways that they've been able to overcome cravings and temptations and things like that, how to get in carb cravings and keto flu and all those things. And then there's also NSV giveaways, which NSVs are non-scale victories, where everybody gets together once a week to show not just weight, but all the things that are healing up and symptoms that are being relieved and everything. And then also we have doctor Zoom meetings. So the big doctors will come in, like Dr. Chafee this month. Carnivore month is going to be a bunch of Sean Baker programs and visits. And so we get the big experts in Chafee, Hampton, Kiltz, Sean Baker.
And Michelle Hearn as
Michelle
well as, yep, and Rebecca Heischman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's all for less than what a soda costs a day. And so you get a whole community. You get access to thousands of carnivores in that space and the best doctors in the field. And you can ask questions and learn from everybody for, I mean, quite honestly, 1/5 of what I would spend just on my morning coffee every morning, you know? So it's quite, people are usually blown away by what they get from it. But all right.
Yeah. I'll just say, you don't have to do the priming and fasting protocol. For me, I don't do it because of my lap band restriction. I find it difficult, but I learned so much just from sitting in the calls and listening to other people's. And I'm hoping one of these days I'll be in a position where I can do the priming and fasting properly, and I'll have all the tools under my belt. So you learn so much from just being there. Hi, Wendy. I'm new to SBG. Yes, I've seen you. And I find the community is really great, especially when you're new to carnivore. Yay. Yeah, for me, the chew is worth joining SBG. Most of my non-scale victories come after priming. From walker to walking is priceless. Yeah. And Tim keeps us entertained with all of Michael's photos.
That's awesome.
Yeah, SBG is like a family to me. I've learned so much and it helps me stay on track. I can talk about anything, not just carnivore. I'd be lost without you all. It's a gift to myself. Oh, we love you too, LaDonna. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We are like a family. Everyone's very friendly. It's just the best place, especially when you don't have a lot of carnivores in real life.
All right, I'm going to hit Damon's replies here, and I'm going to go through the rest of the replies on the addiction. Then we'll go back to the top and start answering everything. But I opened this can of worms. So
yeah, a lot of questions, a lot of stars, 68.
Yeah. All right, I'm on it. Physical addiction is different. The withdrawals are so bad that the addict will take the drug to alleviate the pain. Okay. Sugar addiction is a psychological addiction. All right, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm guessing a physical addiction is kind of like a chemical addiction or whatever, where your body's in some kind of real physical pain. So that's really interesting. Let's see. I'm going to go here. Hooligan says, I would argue
you're still an addict, but you've learned to control it. If you know you can't touch it again or you'll go off deep, then you're an addict.
Sorry. That's crazy. DoorDash is calling me. And I'm like, I didn't order anything. I think they're checking to see if I'm alive because I haven't ordered DoorDash for 2 years. They're like, are you okay, buddy? Literally, I got a call from DoorDash. It must be spam or something. But that's why I went quiet there. So sorry, I missed that. I would argue with you that you're still
You had
an
a
addict.
flashback. That's
Yeah,
what
I
happened.
did. I was like, whoa, incoming burritos and pizza. and soda.
They just want to
crazy.
test you to see if you're an addict or not.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
No joke. Holy cow.
Pizza's on its way.
Pretty much. Well, I know they took a hit. Their margins took
Stock
a hit.
drop.
Yeah, they're like, hey buddy, can we get you something? All right. I would argue with you, you're still an addict, but you've learned to control it. If you know you can't touch it again, or you will go off the deep end, you are an addict. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I like that.
and I take that for sure. But
Always a but.
well, does that mean I'm an addict to everything? Because here's the thing. I would bet you that I can be an addict with just about anything because I seem to just have that personality.
Sure.
Right.
You can. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and I think there are some people that just aren't prone to being an addict to anything, you know? So what I'm saying is because I've had sugar and I've been addicted to sugar, but now I'm able to control it and abstain from it. But I haven't had like meth, but I'm sure that I would get equally as addicted to meth as I do sugar because I'm crazy and I get addicted to everything that I do. But I would just have to guess, would that make me equally addicted to both of those things? And let's pretend like the physical addiction side of things didn't exist, just even mentally, however the sugar mental addiction works. And man, I feel like arguing is sugar only a physiological or psychological addiction? Because man, people have real withdrawals from sugar, like headaches, and they get really moody and they get heart palpitations and they get pain. So that's another thing. Man, we're gonna have to go into this. I'm really loving this topic. We're gonna have like a whole 3-hour episode just on this because I really love this topic. No, it does not make you an addict because the problem is not you. Anyone that eats that again will crave it because of what it contains and the bliss point that affects the brain. See, that's what I feel too, because I'm like, man, if I'm not free from sugar addiction because I can not partake in it, but the fact that if I do partake in it, I'm going to go down, I'm going to go off the deep end. Well, then that makes me addicted to things that I've never, that makes me equally as addicted to things that I've never tried because, certain things anyhow that have an addictive bliss point, like he's talking about, because I know I'd go off the deep end with those. That's why I never took up drinking or doing drugs, because I knew how I had an addictive personality for everything. I'm like, those will kill me. I'll be in a body bag for sure if I take those things. So that's why I'm so curious about this. Let's see. Ask Google what the medical term for being on the wrong, what's it?
On the wagon.
Or on the wagon. I'm telling you, this oxalate dumping has got me seeing double today. It says abstinence or sober. I feel like I'm sober. Oh, I gotcha. That is interesting. Man, I'm gonna have to look up what the definition of sober is now. Because I'm not sure what the definition of sober. Let's see. Cured, you simply don't desire the things that you were formerly addicted to. Information being freedom of choice. So that's really a good point too, right? Because now let's take nicotine in Copenhagen that I was chewing. I didn't even try to quit that, right? So that was not on my list of things to quit. And my body ended up like, I didn't want it. My body didn't want it. I was never going to quit Copenhagen. I would have fought you and told you that Copenhagen ain't that bad and that nicotine, as long as it's not smoked, isn't all that bad for it. I would have had that. I mean, that would have probably been an addict's argument, but I would have probably had that argument with you. And then all of a sudden my body's like, hey, we're done with the tobacco. And I didn't even try to quit that. I was not planning to quit that. There was no struggle or work involved. That just peeled off of me. Let's see. The addiction may always be there if you choose to return to it. I believe. Yeah. I think the grace is that we are given to avoid our addictions in order to heal, is what sets one free. I believe that too. I do believe that. Man, This is a really fun conversation. You can have withdrawals giving up sugar. It's an addiction. For sure. I totally agree with that. 100%. I'm going to come back to that. We're finishing up the
can of worms that Todd opened up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I started a dumpster fire over here, so I'm trying to put it out. Let's see, did I get?
It's like a kid with a new toy.
Oh, here we go. Here's Damon's back.
Despite anecdotal claims, neither tolerance nor withdrawal has been shown scientifically in humans with sugar or any other nutrient or food, with the possible exception of caffeine.
Okay, perfect. Well, see, that's what I would like to know. I don't know what any of that stuff is. I'm curious what those definitions are, you know? Exactly. Arguing the new addiction. 100%. It's a better addiction though, because arguing ideas and thoughts, that's how you find the truth. That's why I hate the term the settled science. Is like science is never settled. It's got to always it's got to be undefeated. Then all comers welcome. I was addicted to coffee when I was working in retail. I was always jacked up to coffee. Then I quit for two and a half years, and then went back to coffee, and now I can moderate it. That's interesting too. Huh. I'm still not going to try sugar, but that's awesome.
To that, I say it depends on the person. Am I a sure addict or an alcohol? Am I a sure addict or an alcohol? No, I can either be either and be totally fine. Sorry, I'm messed up now. I've got your Oxalates.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if I touched meth or heroin, I'd be having issues. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I don't know. So part of this, I think this is what I think gets me in trouble in this conversation is I think we're all pretty close to being on the same page. I think that we just have different ideas of these terms. Like that's why I keep saying I don't know that I clinically know the right terms the way that people that have studied this a lot more talk about it, and that's why they want to beat me over the head when I say that I don't have any addictions. But I want to understand the nuances, like how can I be able to be 100% for 100% successful abstaining from an addiction and still be an addict for it, but I'm not an addict to something that I also abstain from, but just because I've never had it, but knowing that if I did have it, it would probably ruin my life. I feel like, well, then I'm either not addicted to either one of those things, or I'm addicted to both of them, even though I haven't tried one of them. That's what I feel like that would have to mean, but I don't know. First 2 weeks of carnivore, cold turkey, terrible sugar withdrawal. No one died, although I will touch and go for a minute. I guarantee you. No, I bet some people in the house were sleeping with blunt objects in case I need to beat you off from getting choked in the night. Okay. Experience sugar and physical. Okay. Let's see.
I'm so addictive to my drinks. I waited 25 minutes to find out. No, she could not find them, but she did not ask for help. I'm a screwy driver when mad and in pain.
For sure. All right. Did I? All right. I'm
sorry.
Did you have one you wanted to put up?
Yeah, that was the one I was going to put up.
Okay. Yeah, it's Todd. I could have missed it. I'm sorry if you end up repeating it. When you stopped smoking, did you cut out all sugar? So So I stopped smoking a long time ago. So I smoked, I said 12 years, but I went back. I was like, no, it wasn't 12 years. And I counted it, and it was about 8.5 years that I smoked Marlboro Reds. I quit smoking Marlboro Reds because they were going to kill me because I had asthma and I couldn't breathe as it was. And so that was a really bad idea. But I was also chewing Copenhagen. So Copenhagen, though, I chewed for 26 years, and I was up to 2 cans, almost 2 full cans a day, some days over 2 cans when it was stressful. And I was so addicted to it, I'd leave a lipper in all night long when I slept, which was really stupid because I had a CPAP. So I'd have to put a lipper in and then put the CPAP on it, and then it would dry that crap to my teeth and my gums. It was crazy. But yes, I quit everything. I was 10 months and 27 days exactly into carnivore, BBB&E, so beef, butter, bacon, eggs only. And I didn't drink anything but water. So I was off of all sugar, and I only ate, I was off sugar. I was off of dairy other than eggs and butter, if you want to call that dairy. But yeah, that was all that I ate. And after October 26th of 2023, I stopped, and I just didn't want it anymore. And I haven't craved it since. It's been insane.
It's good.
Yeah. So there's that. All right. I'm going to go back up to the top because we got a whole bunch of these, and I didn't mean to make you guys wait.
Yeah.
I think we taste
the memories. Yeah. True.
Yeah. And it's funny because the memories don't taste like what the food tastes like
Used to,
today.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheesecake used to be my number one sugar addict food.
Mine too. I went ape one year. I could probably tell you it was probably somewhere around 2005. We got Starbucks. Yes, I live in a town that's so small that we didn't have I'm old enough to have lived in a time when we did not have Starbucks. And so we got our first Starbucks in Bozeman, and it was in the Barnes and Noble's bookstore. In their cafeteria, they had a Starbucks. And if you went in there and you got a Starbucks in Barnes and Noble, they had Cheesecake Factory cheesecake in Starbucks. That was fun. And so we don't have cheesecake factories here. That's why that's a big deal. And so I, for one Christmas, bought 2 full cheesecakes, and those, the full cheesecake factory cheesecakes, they're huge. They're monsters. And I bought 2 of them because I knew I was taking one of them to the Christmas party we're going to, and the other one I was going to eat when I got home. I sure did, because I loved cheesecake. It was quite the scene. It should have been shown on Natural Geographic or something.
Brain is a terrible thing when it's under the influence of sugar. Yeah, for sure.
That's for sure. The question was the pleasure of the carbohydrate flavors worth the experience of pain? Absolutely not. And that's what I'm loving so much about my family. I didn't have to bring that up this time. They already knew it. They were saying that didn't even taste good. Man, I can't believe how bad I feel. My mom, right? My mom, who's struggling right now cognitively, she even goes, it's so crazy how much worse you feel once you've gone carnivore, how much worse the symptoms are. My mom even noticed that, so it's a good sign that that's going to make the real lasting difference. We had cheesecake available at church today, and someone asked if I wanted any. I thought to myself, no, I don't do drugs. Exactly. Just say no to drugs, Tim. Cause and effect, feel better on carnivore way of eating, 100%.
Yeah, we have so much to lose now. Your freedom. You go back to how you were before. It's not worth it, is it?
No, not at all. It is so crazy. I'll let you read that one. I'm going to catch up.
Hey, B-Dog. Hi, guys. I'm doing okay. I work every other Sunday for now. Yay, carnivore. I learn that all the time. January 1st, my plan is to also stick to my meal times of 10 and 4. Also walking 3 to 5 miles 5 days a week. Well done.
That's awesome.
Go you. You're going to kill it this year.
For sure. That's incredible.
Michael and Lindy, is it okay to pick on Todd?
Always.
It's open season. Bring it, Timmy. Bring it.
Is that why I've been itching off and on? Yeah, I had the oxalates on my legs as well. This just a couple of months, weeks ago, about 3 weeks, and tallow that gets rid of the itchiness. It's been fantastic.
This is how crazy it is. I bought a DeWalt cordless 20-volt DeWalt kit, and one of the things that's in it is a palm sander. And I actually looked at that going, I wonder if I can put that palm sander on the back of my legs and get to that dang itch that won't go away.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, it is super itchy.
After opening up my can of tallow, does it need to be stored in fridge or dark cupboard?
Dark cupboard is fine. Fridge is safer. Dark cupboard is absolutely fine, unless you're like reusing it and it's got meat chunks in it, which even the fridge is going to be bad after a while.
Yeah.
So, but as long as it's clean, you don't have to refrigerate it. In my opinion, I don't refrigerate my tallow.
Yeah, I have mine on the kitchen bench. I buy the 1 tub, the 1 liter tub. Well, 4 liters. It's a huge one, and I just have it sitting on my kitchen bench. It's fine, but it's not glass; it's a plastic. So. Yeah, I don't know if that makes a difference.
For sure.
Lindy, your comment on Live with Kerry the other day encouraged me for avoiding a hip replacement. I want to go full in with Carnivore. Oh, great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Look, I thought I was going to need surgery, and now I'm walking around, and as long as I don't overdo it, I'm comfortable with it. I'm not going to go for surgery. But it just felt like my leg socket was going to pop out of my hip. It was that bad. Yeah. But no, I can deal with this. It's manageable now. And I think it will continue to improve as I keep losing weight and I keep being carnivore.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know if those oxalate crystals can cause really bad weeping lymphedema?
I don't think so, honestly. The reason why I say that is the lymph impact. So the tissue that oxalate dumps is not the tissue that's lymph impacted. So I don't get oxalate dumping in the tissue or the fat that's impacted with swollen lymph tissue, because that tissue is not healthy enough to oxalate dump. It actually, where I oxalate dump is the tissue that is healing and that is getting the most lean. So right now I'm oxalate dumping on like my shoulders and the back of my neck, which is lean tissue, where I have the least amount of body fat, and also on the back of my legs, because I'm so much more active that my thighs are getting muscular and lean, especially on the back side. And so that's where I'm getting down to the nitty gritty of kind of, I think, what's left in those fat cells there. So long story short, I don't think so. I think I only oxalate dump out of healthy tissue, and I don't consider that to be lymph impacted tissue. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's a totally separate issue. The lymphatics. Yeah. Do you have a vibration plate? They're fantastic. Don't think we can say that enough for if you have lymphedema. They help a lot just to try and get that fluid out. But yeah, not pleasant.
For sure.
But carnivore, just stay strict carnivore. For dairy, I think for all of us, it does flare up bowel lymphedema. So maybe stay away from dairy. Yep. But carnivore makes this condition much more manageable.
For sure.
For sure.
All right.
Please talk about the different symptoms of oxalate dumping.
Well, for me, it's brain fog. This is literally why, like, I'm having a hard time seeing a little bit, and the screen, and then also, I don't know. I have a few things clearing up, and one of them is dyslexia. Like, I've always been dyslexic my whole life, and on certain days it's really good on carnivore, but today it's not good. Everything's just getting flip flop. That's one thing, is brain fog and kind of choppy. Even my sentences are not flowing very smooth today. That's one thing, is brain fog. But the telltale signs is super itchy skin, and then it breaks out and it's like little zits, and then they turn into hard little bumps, and then you start itching those, and then out of those come these little crystals, these little oxalate crystals that are pretty crazy. And then it also comes with you kind of feel like you're low key fighting a flu or a cold or something, like you're just a little bit under the weather feeling, and it's just this kind of yucky feeling. And and the knee pain, the joint pain. Holy crap! My knees were so sore this week. It's been crazy. I walking around hunched over like a 80-year-old man, and I would have been mad and angry. And at first, I thought it was because I tested garlic for the first time in 2 years since I've been carnivore. I tried 2 tablespoons of garlic, and I thought that's what caused the knee pain. And then I realized it was just a weird timing. That it's actually either that or the garlic caused the oxalate dumping. I don't know. Could be both. I really don't know.
Something to touch on the road, huh?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I've been sharing a wine with my daughter home for the holidays. That led me to thinking of one of the homemade chocolates would be okay. It did not taste as good as the smell and the memories promised. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you feel terrible for having it later because, like, I
No.
didn't really need that. I shouldn't have. I hate the guilt trips that I get.
And then
It's not
you
worth
look at it and you say it wasn't worth it. And why
For
did I
sure.
do it? You know. So
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not worth it.
It's like going to a restaurant and getting someone else to cook your steak. Why did I do that?
Right.
Yeah, not worth it.
For sure.
Yeah, soaking in Epsom salt helped my oxalates. Nice.
good.
That's a well thought out plan. Todd can tell you all have done this before.
For
Is that
sure.
for the fasting, is it?
I think so.
Thought
Yeah.
out plan. Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm gonna tell my mom that though, because
I'll screen it, shot that, and send it to her.
that'd be good because when she's going through carb withdrawals, especially after falling off the wagon, she doesn't think I'm a good son when I'm withholding the sugar. She gets mean.
That's covered in meat.
Meat mobile. That's funny. That's awesome.
I changed my name from the tarot one. I have so much pain and brain fog. I'm determined to do this. I've done everything but surgery for weight loss. Have to say this is the most satisfying one ever. Yeah. I did the weight loss surgery and it's kind of, hasn't been a good experience. It's made my life difficult now that I found Carnivore. But if anyone is looking to do weight loss surgery, give Carnivore a try first.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, don't try not to go down that path.
100%.
So details of this fast start Monday and break it Saturday. Miss Hooligan and I want to do it with you guys. We haven't done a 5-day yet. Maybe we should do a little show. We can on our anniversary, like when we start it. We'll do we can all start together. So we'll plan it, schedule it in.
Yeah, would you guys mind doing a all right, here's what we should do. We're going to bump the day one more day and go to Tuesday.
Tuesday now?
Yeah, here's why. So we can do, because I'm going to be on the road on Sunday and partially on Monday, likely, because I'm probably it's a long drive home. So I would like to do Monday nightish, a short, 1 hour live stream. Or
6th. And then we'll do the fast on Tuesday.
Yeah. 7th. That way we can get everybody in there and just give them a shout out, because I'm not going to be able to do a 3-hour show of this next Sunday because so it's probably going to be a short and sweet one, maybe an hour or two. So we'll fill in that an hour or so on the Monday.
Probably be our longest show ever.
Probably. You ever had a Red Bull? I love Red Bull. Remember that from Jim Carrey? He's like, I love Red Bull. Do you got a Red Bull? And they're like, doesn't it crash really bad? He's like, no, I don't think so. No. Then he was sleeping on the pavement. I love that one. I forget what movie that was, but it was great. But yeah, well, I'm a little bit digressing here, but so Monday we'll do a live stream. We'll set up the details. Everybody can join us. We'll put it out there, and then we'll start it on Tuesday, the next day. So we'll shout out the app that you can join us in, because we'll be in an app group. And yeah, it'll be awesome. It'll be the Cool Kids Fasting Club.
But for now, everybody prime. Eat like it's your job, because you want to be
Right.
prepared for that 5-day fast, because you're not going to go without for 5 days. You want to nourish your body, get to the point that you can do this without white knuckling.
Right. We want to see people with bite marks on their fingers because they took too big of bites. Like they're going for it. Got carried away. Just cooked up some carne asada on the Ninja Foodie. Thawed for Todd. Thank God. That's awesome. How did you like it, LaDonna? Got an air fryer on the way. Looking forward to trying frozen steak. All right. Well, I don't even know why this is in here. I'm moving on. Once you get past the first few weeks on carnivore, I found any cravings vanished.
Yeah.
And like, I understand that we might just be the really blessed, lucky ones. Like, I get it, because there's a lot of people that struggle, and I'm not like, I get it, you know, well, sort of too, because the other thing is I did fail for roughly 39 years before I got free from the craving. So, but I'm just saying, for 2.5 years before carnivore on keto, I failed miserably and fell off the wagon more times than I can count. So I totally get it.
But I do think you need to take out all the sweetener and all the other bits as well. Like, for someone like me, if just one bite of something starts the triggers, starts the cravings coming back. So I have to abstain from everything and go really strict. So I think that should be everyone's focus. If you do think you're a sugar addict or whatever, go very, very strict. Take everything out and just have your, no sweeteners, no nothing. Try it for 30 days and see how you go. See if you get that off switch as well.
For sure.
I think you can if you're on carnivore and long enough to help your body.
Right on.
Whether I'm an addict or not, it's not worth a risk to find out.
For sure. Yeah, I that's where I end up at the end of the day too. It's like, well, I might not know the terminology. This all might be semantics, but I know I'm avoiding it like the plague. You know, I'm definitely avoiding it, and whatever that makes me, that's fine.
I think addictions can be cured. I was skeptical about that until I heard Todd's story and many others from people who have healed.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, up until my entire life, until carnivore, and really even that 10 months and 27 days into carnivore, I would have agreed with everybody that no, once you're an addict, you're just hosed. I would have agreed with that, but I've never felt this level of freedom, so I don't know how to classify it. I personally don't feel like I'm an addict, but I could be wrong.
I am free from addiction to alcohol and sugar. I don't know about salty carbs because I will never know. I only try anything with seed oils.
Right. That's awesome. Awesome work, John.
Once an addict, always an addict. It's a slippery slope. I still struggle with it. Well, yeah, you do hear of people who have been sober for many years with alcohol or other drugs, and they fall off the wagon many, many years down the track. So it's always still there. But what's the trigger to make you start again?
I'm going to play the devil's advocate on myself here. And because here is one thing that I do think that I might be doing, and maybe it's why it's successful, and I'm not mad at it, even if it is working, but maybe it's a addiction transfer, like maybe that's what it is. Because I would say that I'm an addictive person, right? Like, I mean, that's plain to simple. You guys have known me enough now that, I'm really compulsive when it comes to things, and I have a hard time when I get something in my head, like it's got to be so, and that pushes me in all the addictive things that I do, and so, I mean, this shows an example, right? And the SBG shows an example. I mean, I spend, I don't know, 25 hours a week on top of 65 hours of work. in the carnivore world in meetings and on cameras that I donate my time for, because this is my new addiction, like being in the carnivore community, talking to you guys, trying to make points and figure this stuff out. And it's because I enjoy these conversations. I enjoy hashing this out. I don't like things that I don't know or understand, and it drives me nuts until I kind of shake it out, and at least it calms me or makes sense. So this has become my new addiction for sure. So maybe it's an addiction transfer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something to replace, but this is a good one to have. So
yeah. So I don't know. So that's, maybe you're all right, and maybe I just took away the bad addictions and I replaced it with, I don't know if there's such a thing as a good addiction, but a much lesser of two evils or whatever,
I think you're always an addict. There you go, Todd.
All right. Well, this is exactly what I wanted. And don't think we're not talking about this again. We're going to have a whole show once we get through this. And I think I want to get Dr. Georgia Eid on here and see if she come on.
That would be wonderful.
Then we're going to drop some elbows.
Well, that's her specialty. So, yeah.
For sure.
Don't know that I'll always be an addict, but I know I have such an addictive personality that if I'm not an addict still, I soon will be. Slippery slope. Yeah.
For sure.
I've been strict carnivore since last December. I rewarded myself this Christmas with some of my mum's sausage balls and some sweet treats. Definitely wasn't worth a stomach ache for days after. Yeah. Lesson learned, isn't it? Hard lesson to learn, but yeah.
Yeah, what's the saying? There's no mistakes, only feedback or something.
Yeah. You just need that little reminder occasionally, I think. As per my experiment with the cheesecake, I want to believe that I can be food addiction free, but maybe it really depends on the situation. I feel stronger than my addiction now. Yeah.
That's awesome. I definitely do too, for sure.
I like barbell dried steak pieces for snack. I rarely snack now. They have a good ratio of fat. I did try some, I've got some jerky here. I think it might be barbell. Adam gave it to me. They gave it away at the Adelaide conference here.
Wow.
It's quite nice. And I dip it in oh my God ghee. I think it's OMG ghee.
OMG ghee.
Oh, that's so good. That's my new thing. So
that's awesome.
I've been carnivore for a year and I still cannot think about sugar. Yay.
Congratulations on the year, man. That's awesome.
Went to a Christmas party that had tons of chocolate and other sweets. Wasn't even tempted. People volunteered to eat cookies for me. Yeah.
That's awesome, though. At least they know,
It's like if we go out to dinner, everyone they fight for my vegetables on the plate. I just hand the plate out. I'm like, take what you want, except the meat. And yeah, it works out well. You talked a bit about oxalate dumping, but can you please talk more about the different symptoms? Did we have this one already?
We had one that was similar to it, but so we'll just do a real quick recap. But basically, I get I break out on the back of my legs and my neck. I get brain fog. I get a little bit moody. I feel a little bit under the weather, and I get joint pain. And then the itching lasts. Right now I'm into about 2 weeks of it, and it starts making these little hard bumps, and then those bumps have oxalate crystals that come out. Had quite a few of them. Sometimes they're big. Sometimes it's just a little pussy, like little whatever. It's just pushing something real tiny out that I can't see. But that's basically how that works. Very itchy. Like you want to you want to reach your spine. Like, ah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
If an alcoholic stops drinking, does that mean they're no longer an alcoholic?
I don't know. That's literally the question. I don't know. So here's what I can tell you. My dad was an alcoholic till he was 34 years old. Got saved, quit cold turkey, went through massive withdrawals, and then he never drank again. Not once in his life. That was 34, and he passed away in 2017. How old was he? He was 70, 73 or 74. And he never took a drink in his life and never missed it. So I would take that question back and say, did my dad die an alcoholic? Because I don't know the question to that, now, or did he transfer his addiction to sugar? And did he satisfy his alcoholic addiction with sugar? Because sugar is what ended up killing him, basically.
Replacement.
Yeah. So these are the questions I'm trying to ask. I'm not saying that I know the answer to them, but these are the things that bug me. And then I don't know. I just want to know the answer to these things.
Do you make deviled eggs? What do you use on it? Mayo, okay, pickles, or olive?
So my favorite deviled eggs are mustard. So I use the mustard for flavoring, or I use vinegar. But my favorite, I don't use mayo because none of the I don't like avocado mayo, and it's still a seed oil anyways. But I love bacon mayo, and so I like to make deviled eggs with some hot sauce, some vinegar, and I make a bacon mayo, and then to get bacon mayo, you're gonna end up with bacon. So then I put little crumbles of bacon on it. If you're feeling a little spicy, put some cheddar cheese on top, and a pickled jalapeno because I can do pickled jalapenos. It's one of the only it's one of the pickled foods and things like that I can eat. So I'll put a pickled jalapeno on it, vinegar, bacon mayo, crumbles of bacon, and then a little bit of hot sauce if I want it on there. And that's what I have. How about you guys? How do you guys do your deviled eggs?
Deviled eggs usually vinegary.
Yeah.
Because ours aren't. Well, I've never have been here. I do mine. I'm funny with cooked egg yolks. I don't like them hard. Like, I don't know. So I actually put a bit of butter in, and sometimes even a bit of heavy whipping cream, and then heaps of bacon. And that way it's really creamy rather than having that. I don't know. I just don't like the texture of cooked eggs for some reason.
It makes them with cod liver.
Oh, those are good. I like cod liver. I eat cod livers all the time.
Yeah. But definitely the crumbled bacon bits on there sounds good.
Yeah. That cod liver could be good. I have cans of cod liver I eat in the mornings. They're delicious. Howdy, howdy.
Jamrock and Lani, do you know them?
I feel like, aren't they in SPG?
Oh, I don't know. But hello.
Hello.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I think I get what you're saying. It's the same as with smoking for me. I haven't smoked in over 20 years and have no interest, but I smoked a couple, I'd be hooked again pretty quick.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. See, now smoking was a different thing, right? Smoking, I quit smoking. I craved cigarettes for 2 years solid, but I just couldn't do it because I had asthma and stuff. But then even after that, I craved cigarettes anytime. So the time that I would smoke the most cigarettes was when I was during the summer when we were working fireworks, which is kind of funny, but I would chain smoke because you were waiting for customers. So you'd sit out the back door chain smoking. Or when I was at the poker table gambling, I would chain smoke all the time. And so 2 years, I craved cigarettes all the time. And then for like the next 6 years, I craved cigarettes whenever I was selling fireworks or whenever I was at the poker table. No matter what, I craved cigarettes. And only on Carnivore did the cigarette craving go away too, with the tobacco craving going away for chew. It's really weird. Very, very strange.
I got the app. It's on the iPhone. The longest I've ever gone is 48. Yeah, I got the app as well. So we're all set for this fast. Can't wait.
That's awesome.
I think we're actually debating both sides of the same coin. Yeah,
I think so too. And that's what I really get at. I'm like, I don't. Well, and so when anytime that you are debating both sides of the same coin, then we're all right around the core of the matter, and we're all right around the truth. That's why I love having this and really hammering it down, because we've all narrowed it down to like this little area, and we are debating, and it comes down to these nuances and it comes down to these definitions, right? But somewhere in there, we're going to find like the meaning and the reality of it and where the real root of it is. And that's why we're definitely going to talk about this more. And we're going to dig into this because this is awesome. This is what we're here for. This is what, I mean, all this stems from addictions that are being pushed onto us. The reason that they make our food hyper palatable and to make it just light up our endorphin centers in our brain is because our food is they changed the definition of our food anymore, and it's no longer nutrients, it's now drugs and products, as far as I'm concerned, is what they're pushing us. And then they give us other drugs to chemically deal with symptoms that are, the side effect from the drugs that we're taking in our food. They're what they're calling food, and they get us hooked on it. And that's why it's such big money, because there shouldn't be anything in our lives that we couldn't. I mean, I say this all the time, and this might seem like a stupid thing, but you shouldn't be able to say, oh, I could never give up my coffee or my cookie or my donut or my cheesecake or my pizza any more than you should ever say, I could never stop wearing my favorite pair of pants. I could never stop, playing my favorite board game or something, whatever. Like, it should feel really awkward to us when we say, I could never stop ingesting this one thing that's a product that's made by a company. That should be our first giveaway that something's really wrong. If the idea of not having your favorite thing that you're putting in your mouth that's a product that's made from a company, if the idea of not having that seems impossible, like you could never live without it, you have an addiction, because you don't do that in nowhere else in your life. Do you sit here and go, I could never live without, my favorite pin, my favorite pair of pants, whatever, my favorite hat. Like, you would never say that. And it would come off really weird if you told somebody you could never not have your favorite hat on. But when we do it with crap that we're putting in our mouth, for some reason and I know the reason, because we're all addicts of something. So we all understand that when it goes in here, it's okay to be addicted to it, but it's not abnormal. And what I'm saying is, it is abnormal. That's not how we evolved to get here, or whatever you want to call it. It's not how we got here, But I do agree we're going to get to the crux of this.
Can you check your Instagram? Has Dr. Kilt said hello yet?
I didn't get Instagram going today because I was having such trouble.
He's probably sitting there waiting for it to start.
I know. He's like, come on. I know.
Every week he says hello. I'm like, he hasn't said hello today.
I know. No, it's because I don't have it on.
Down. Oh, dear. Wow. Beth, this is the problem with trying to label everything. It gets very complicated, especially when so many variables are involved. Sometimes perhaps best to keep it simple. Exactly.
Oh, for sure. But my brain
doesn't like simple.
No, my brain. Well, puzzles. I like puzzles. Yeah.
Before Carnivore, I went low carb and got rid of sugar and bread and ice cream in 2019. Then went Carnivore now 4 years, and I can look at sugary stuff and not want it.
Exactly. And I'm right there with you, man. And I'm not, this isn't a flex or a brag. It's actually me being shocked and can't even imagine it, but it's the truth. Like, I don't crave it. I'm not weak to it anymore. And it doesn't have this pull. And I know there's a lot of us out there. And one of the biggest reasons this matters to me is because there's a group of people, my mom being one of them, by the way, because last night when she was feeling so sick, my mom said, I can't help it. I'm just a sugar addict. She said that. And so I sit here and I go, is that helpful or not? I don't know. And I don't know. I mean, I know what it's like to feel like an addict. I also know what it's like to feel like I do now, where I feel like I'm freer, stronger than the addiction, or maybe free from the addiction, however you want to look at it. And I spent an awful lot of time, if you watch these videos and our conversations, trying to backwards engineer how I got here, because I don't even understand it. I didn't know this was going to happen. So we're trying to follow our tracks in to figure out how exactly did we get here so we can try to duplicate this, because it's happened for me, Lindy, and Michael. And so, and a lot of people it happens for. So we're just trying to follow our tracks back in here so that we can map the steps of how this happened. And with that in mind, I feel like I so get both sides of this argument, because Todd 2 years ago would have heard you guys saying that you can get to a place where you're not a sugar addict. I would have clicked off. If you told me I had to exercise my way out of being in the shape I was in, I would have clicked off. And if you would have told me that you can do it and you'll get to a point that you don't want sugar, I would have clicked off, because I would have thought you were a snake oil sales crazy person, you know?
Yeah.
So I get it. I absolutely get it. But now I'm on this side and I'm like, holy crap, I don't crave sugar. And I'm not wanting to discourage anybody or run anybody off, but I am wanting to give you hope, because I didn't know I could get here. I didn't know that this place existed. So,
and you don't know how bad you are when you're on the other side. It's when you get free from it is when you finally see it, and you realize how bad you really were.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I'm not sitting here to say I don't think you're an addict, or I don't think that you think you're an addict, or I don't think addicts exist, or any of that stuff. All those things exist. And I was 100% one of them and stuck in it. Yeah. But what I would love people to, and I don't take lightly the danger of falling back into those habits or getting re-addicted. Like, I still fight against that. Like, I'm fighting for my life still, because I know if I fall back into that, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be the end of me. So I know those things. And I also look at sugar like it's the enemy that, kept me sick for 39 years and killed my dad and my brother, and why my mom has Parkinson's and dementia, and she's in the rough shape she is, and why my brother has MS, and why my sister is in the shape she's in, and why Lindy and Michael have been in the shape that they're in, and everybody that I really give two craps about in this world is in some sort of pain or suffering because of this food and these addictions. So I have a real disdain for those drugs, and I do classify them as drugs and poisons, and they are my enemy. So I get that. That's one thing that's changed, and maybe that's why the mental aspect, maybe it is just mental, and that's
because you're talking to yourself. You're opening the fridge, you see a cheesecake, think cheesecake equals man boobs. So it's that self-talk. You're talking yourself out of it, and that's a constant thing that you doing every day. You go into a parking lot somewhere where you used to park. I think you mentioned a car park, and you were like, yeah, that was the first thing that came to your mind, and that was like that little habit that you used to have, and it's like, no, get that out of my mind, and you just got to keep, you can't be complacent.
It's just like if it's Friday, a thought of pizza comes into my head. I'm having pizza tonight it's Friday. That's what I do.
Well, and along that same point, because that's a great point. Along that same point, you know what I don't do anymore? I don't watch TV anymore. I don't watch movies anymore. I can't get through a movie. And you know why? Because movies equaled pizza when I was watching movies. I didn't watch a movie without soda and pizza.
You always had to be sticking something in your mouth. I used to do the same way. And the other thing that I changed is I no longer eat in this chair. I stay in the kitchen, and I eat in the kitchen, and I don't bring food back out here. Yeah. And that helps a lot.
Absolutely.
Because it's a habit. You'd be sitting here watching, and then you just be going like this all the time, and that's the worst thing you can do.
For sure. 100%.
Or you get your iPad and do your little coloring app like I do. I hardly watch TV. I just do it because I've got my husband. He likes to come home and watch a bit of TV at night, and I like to spend time with him. And that was usually our snacking time. So to keep my hands and my mind busy, I do my coloring app, paint by number on my iPad. Keeps my hands and brain busy.
I would love to know what ADHD is, because I wonder if I had that as much as I wonder. I don't know. Some friends of mine that had ADHD said that they think I did.
It's hard to stay concentrated on one thing. You just keep getting distracted all the time.
Right. Well, that was me in spades for sure.
Same.
But I was so terrible, and which caused massive amounts of anxiety for me. But that was a given. But also, do you have to have a lot of things going on at once to calm yourself? So when I'm not on camera or sleeping, music has to be blasting, so music is always playing.
Keeps you a little distracted, yeah.
What? Right. So the music has to be going, and then I will have a video on with caps on YouTube on whatever carnivore video I'm watching. I'm reading the thing, listening to the music, and I'm usually answering emails on my phone and answering Instagram DMs and texts. And I usually have to have those three things going on at all times. And at work, it's no better. I'm drawing prints and typing up invoices and stuff while I'm listening to music, while I have a YouTube video playing with the caps going, with the captions going. So I don't know. My head's always been that way, and I get a little bit anxious or whatever. It's gotten so much better on carnivore. It's not even funny. But there's that thing, that side of me. And the reason why I'm saying that is those are the things that used to push me to compulsive, like taking everything too far, being super compulsive, obsessive with everything. Right. But now I've put it into the carnivore stuff. And that's why I'm not joking when I say I think about this addiction stuff a lot, because it just rolls through my head, because until you get the answer, you don't kind of feel free from it. It just sits there and those ideas just keep rolling through and kind of clashing. And that's why I keep having these. So I would like to know, the reason why I didn't was because I was seeing people when they were prescribing me antidepressants and stuff. And we're getting to the bottom of that stuff. And they're giving me diagnoses, but then we got to that question about I'm trying to figure out how to say this with the algorithm. So we got to that point of whether you were gonna check out of here, whether you ever thought about it. And then I realized that I had raised some flags when I answered honestly, so I never got to do that again, because I realized that that they were gonna possibly take some sort of legal action against me, So then I never went back, and I never talked about the other things that were going on in the spaghetti bucket up here. So now that it's all healing and it's very manageable and everything's much, much better, I just wonder what those little, like they did tell me I was dyslexic, but I was just wondering what that really crazy fast head is all the time. I thought it was probably the caffeine and the sugar, but that's one thing. I can focus now on multiple things, and I can focus and retain 300% of the information that I used to be able to, and I can reach and grab the things, but I don't know what that is. Where before I couldn't do anything. I almost felt paralyzed because I couldn't focus on any one of those things. So you just felt helpless because you just stop, and you just felt trapped because you couldn't focus on any of them. So it just started to be overwhelming, and then the anxiety would almost be paralyzing after that happened. But anybody, let me know if that sounds familiar, and if somebody ever told you what that came from.
Let's answer this real quick.
Oh, it's because I was 715 pounds when I started this, and Lindy was?
I have no idea. 750 plus.
Yeah,
I don't know if the scale is error.
And Michael was?
722.
722. So we're all over 700 pounds when we started this. So that's it's not a record that any of us are proud of, but we want to give people hope, because the reason why we did this, and the reason why we named it that too, was because when I saw carnivore, I didn't see any other 700-pound people that had come back on carnivore. The only people that they ever gave you any kind of hope to come back from 700 pounds was surgery.
Yeah.
And
that's, for me, it was always watching 600 pounds, my 600-pound life. And that's what I always thought was the only way I was ever going to lose the weight that I had, is to either get on that show or get surgery. And that's what I wanted. That's the only way I thought I'd ever get away from it. But look at how this is working.
Exactly.
And I had lap band when I was around 350 pounds, and I still got up to around 750 plus 800 pounds. Not sure, with a lap band.
Exactly. And so I'd lost 200 pounds on this, but when I first started, I was like, this is the only thing I have to try left. I'm not going to get surgery. So I was either this or die, and I was dying in a pretty quick pace after going through COVID, getting stuck on oxygen, having congestive heart failure and all this stuff. And so I threw it all into this, but even throwing it into this, it was a Hail Mary, and I didn't think it was going to work. I thought I was going to die. And then it worked spectacularly, and I couldn't believe it. And I just couldn't believe it. And then so after 6 months, I was down 6 or 7 months in, I was down like 205 pounds. And Bill Knott on Carrie's channel was in the same boat. And so I wanted to get out to Bill Knott that, okay, this, because in my head, there were some 400-pound and maybe upwards of 500-pound carnivores that had done it, but there's no 700-pounders. So we reason with ourselves and we go, well, it could work for them because they're not in as bad shape as I am, but it can't work for me. So it was really hard to have any faith in it, but it worked. And so I knew the doubt because there wasn't any examples of 700-pound carnivores. So I made a video to Bill Knott. That's why I started my YouTube channel. And that was how Lindy found me. And I didn't know that there was another one of us that existed. And then
I was hiding in SBG behind my coaches, and the coaches are like, "Get out there and share your story." I'm like, "No," because I didn't believe that I was going to succeed in this. I thought I was going to be a carnivore diet failure.
Exactly.
So yeah, otherwise, if I had known, I would have loved to have shared my story. I do regret it now, but
For sure.
I didn't believe in it.
So
because we tried so many things in the past that never worked for us before. Think about all the diets that we tried out so many times. It's just not like we sat there because we wanted to be heavy. No, we tried so many different things.
Right.
And I went under the knife, and I failed that too.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and think about this too. Not only did we try, but we tried 1,000 times, but we got hyped up about it, right? And then we told all of our friends
every time.
Yeah.
And that's always the worst thing to do is tell somebody that you're on a diet.
Right.
Because when it fails, you have to tell them, no, I'm no longer doing it again. And that's the worst thing to do.
But it's so hard to do because they're like, no matter what the diet, but especially carnivore, they're like, why you only eat meat? Well, that's all I'm feel like having, so you get so tired of looking foolish because look, when you're that big and that sick, I mean, in this, not even that big, when you're just big and sick, it takes a lot to hype you up because you failed so many times. You feel hopeless. You feel you don't have a light at the end of the tunnel. You're just lost. And so
here's my light. Looking at you two, that's my light that I see in both of you guys to see how much you guys have changed in the past 17 months that I've known you guys. And every week that you guys come in here, I see the changes that and I can see that's going to be me. So that's the light at the end of my tunnel.
Well, and you don't have a choice, sir, because we're gonna come give you a wedgie and pull you out of that apartment because you're getting out of there. So
I want to get out of here, believe me.
He is. We're coming to get you. And so literally, me and Lindy got together and we realized, okay, there is two of us. And then we started talking and realized how many more of us are out there and how many 700-pound people are thinking that they're hopeless. So we started this show in hopes that talking about the really unpleasant things about being that size, that people that were stuck like us would hear it, and that would give them some hope, and maybe they'd come out of the shadows. And that's where Michael comes in.
That's where I came in from. Yeah, that's the second episode.
Yep, very second episode. Michael, how long have you been stuck in your house?
25 years.
Yeah.
So half my life I've been over half my life I've been stuck in homebound, and I've been stuck in this apartment now. I haven't been outside of this apartment for 5 years.
Yeah.
So,
and you've been pretty much homebound for 25 years. Only time you've been out is a few times to the hospital.
And I hated doing it.
Yeah. So it's working, and Michael's you're down like 150 or 180 pounds.
I was down 227 pounds, but my legs have been really swelling up on me, and I'm back down to like 160. I put some back on, but it's all fluid in my legs.
Right. Michael's got huge he's got real bad lymphatic issues. So
70, my one thigh is like 71 inches in circumference.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just my thigh. Yeah.
Just the thigh. Yep. And so Michael's got a lot more healing to do, but we're going to get him out of there and we're going to keep the course. And Michael's done it. Like Lindy's about to have her 3-year. I'm about to. So next week is Lindy's 3-year anniversary. Next week's my 2-year anniversary. And next week is your
17 and a half months for me.
Yeah. So it's making huge progress. And between us, I've lost 310 pounds. Lindy's lost 520-ish pounds. And Michael's
160. That was except as
So that's what this show's about. And this is why none of us care what the trolls or the haters say. That
I don't even weigh myself anymore. I don't go on the scale. I base how I feel. That's my that's how I know how I'm doing and how I'm walking and how my aches and pains are. Scale.
sure.
Your face is all over YouTube too. Like all that confidence, the carnivore calm and confident. Who would have thought we'd all be on YouTube? Or maybe Todd.
Never would have
Not
thought
us
I'd be up
two.
here.
No, I didn't. When I was young, when I was young, when I was even a teenager and even late teens, I wouldn't let pictures get taken of me. I wouldn't, I was 600 pounds when I was 14. I wouldn't let anybody take a picture of me.
Wow.
And I would even go into my mom's photo albums and I was destroying any old pictures that I could see. I hated being confronted with myself. I hated being in pictures. It was ridiculous. I'm happy. Now I'm so happy that my sister was stubborn and my mom was stubborn and they hit a few. So, well, except for then
Michael's happy too. Look at the smile.
Oh, shit.
Sugar uses the same receptors as heroin and many times more addicting.
For sure.
Yeah.
We're going to do a little.
It's addicted the whole world, hasn't it?
For sure. Let's do a little rapid fire for about 20 comments here so we can get to the most recent ones.
Okay.
I think you can discard the last one, Todd. If you weren't an addict of X, then overcame that addiction, and it's more a moot point in IMO. Potentially, we're all addicts to 1,000 things we've never tried.
Yeah, I believe that. And so that's why I understand that it's probably anecdotal, silliness, but it is fun to play that out, right? Jordan Peterson always says that the reason why we have certain anxieties and certain things that we keep coming back to that cause anxiety is because our subconscious finds pitfalls that we've fallen into or fallen prey to, and that it wants us to recognize the pitfalls and also recognize the course that we took to fall into them. And I used to think that was some shrinky foo-foo nonsense, but now I actually get it because my brain really does like to see those things. Because if, it's just like I didn't get free from disordered eating until I got mad at the system and I really understood how I was being attacked. And I really got my head into it, and I stopped trusting people and trusting the science and all that. And we actually looked to see what was happening and the money that was behind it. That's the thing that put me on the right course, because that was the thing where I stopped just beating myself up for the things that I couldn't control. And I started looking at things that I needed to take control of, and it worked a lot better. So, and in retrospect, that's exactly what Jordan Peterson talks about backtracking, identifying the course that you keep taking that keeps making you fall into these traps, because your brain's like, we're not going to move on, and they're all going to be triggers for anxiety until you identify these, and we can, because that's how that's how our species evolved, was learning how to not fall into these pitfalls, right? And learning to where the dangers were and learning how to overcome them. So anyhow, it says that it's part of our subconscious that's in there, that it will not, that's where a lot of the anxiety comes from. So kind of interesting. I don't know. He's way smarter than me, so I'm just listening to him. So
Hi, Beach Bum. Before going to the family's house for Thanksgiving and Christmas, both days I ate a huge ribeye before leaving my house, and I didn't eat there. My first holidays after this. Whoa. That's awesome.
Well done. Well done. Well played. Game, set, match. You nailed it, sir.
Yeah, it's definitely a good tip, because even if you're feeling, tempted by anything, if you've got a really full belly, you can't do a lot of damage when you're full. So it's a good strategy to fill up. Going to the new year 2025, we'll be 17 years sober from alcohol. Yay.
Congratulations, man. We are so happy for you. And this is just what, like Michael said, that I was going to bring this up. Like Michael said, that we're the light at the end of the tunnel for him. That's another, going back to the lady that asked why join SBG, and not just SBG. I am partial to SBG for sure, but also Healing Humanity is awesome. Also, Ken Berry's got a good group. Anthony Chafee, all these people. But the reason why I go to SBG every day, almost every day, is because everybody in there is the light at the end of the tunnel for me. Like we all get to see. That's what they have the NSV meeting showing everybody that's overcome, however you want to look at it, overcome, managed, whatever addictions, bad habits, disordered eating, and then have come to carnivore, found freedom from it, and then watching their body heal and watching all these, in many, many, many cases, what has been diagnosed as uncurable things that aren't supposed to get better, things that aren't supposed to go away. They go away, they melt off. So many people, like, and that gives hope to the hopeless, and so it's pretty incredible.
I went by a friend's house. I had not eaten all day. There were donuts. I smelled them. I had no urge to eat that at all. Oh, good job. That's strong. Very good.
That's so good, B-Dog. Congratulations. And so now you're an example for your friends that think that surely you can't not eat sugar, right? That we're all being examples for our crackhead friends, family,
Right, Lindy, we were all conditioned since childhood to eat sugar as rewards, as punishment when purposely taken away, as in no dessert, social situations, etc. And it's everywhere. We cannot escape it. So true. Yeah. I think that's why it's so hard for us to break. But if we could train them young and get them sort of more carnivore now, a bit late for my girls, but hopefully I'm going to be one of those grandmas that's like, here's some meat, have some meat. Yeah. I think it might be too easy for me to justify a small keto snack. A donut did not have a chance. Yeah.
For sure. I think that's why so many of us go from keto to carnivore, because I'm not saying that keto can't be a bridge, but I think for a lot of us, we need to be abstainers.
True. And the macros did my head in. I don't like counting.
Right.
Just like today, I put out the donuts for the church today, and 4 years before I would have eaten some, I was able to put them out for the ones that eat them.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I know exactly how you feel, and that's why whatever I'm experiencing, I'm quite enjoying it, because it's so funny. I mean, this is the first time I went into a bakery in, honestly, I think 3 years, because I was 4 years probably, because I was too sick for the other 2 years, and then carnivore. But it's a weird feeling to be in a bakery picking out cookies and donuts and crap, and not Michael, you're muted, and not feel,
right,
not feel anything. I was just like, in fact, when I was doing it, I was like, I can't believe I'm in here buying poison. I'm going to take it to the shop. Literally, that's what I was thinking. I was like, why are we poisoning our men on a Monday? Like, why are we starting the week by poisoning our guys? Like, that's what was going through my head. I wasn't sitting there going, oh, I hope I don't eat this. I'm sitting there, I felt kind of, I don't know, kind of like I had dog turds in a bag sitting on my passenger seat when I was driving to the shop. Like, why am I doing this? It was so weird.
And for the people that say that carnivore's so restrictive and just eat one, just one, you've got to live a little. Well, I am living a lot now. Right. And carnivore is not restrictive. Being on that couch, not able to move, walk from the couch to the toilet, that's restrictive. So, yeah, I guess it's, I've come from one extreme. So, for me to start having things is going to put me back into that spiral, which I refuse to go into. So, for me, this is easy compared to what life was on that couch.
For sure.
I contend when addiction controls you, you control the addiction, it is no longer an addiction.
That might be a good spot right there to draw the line, for sure.
5905, almost 20 years, no drugs. Yay. Go, LaDonna.
Awesome. Great work.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Hi, Carnivore at 60. The new year is about here. Stay carnivore.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is nearly here, isn't it? December 30th here already.
Yeah.
What's the lowest fat to protein you should go on carnivore?
I think should go. That's should go is a stretch. Could go, may go, might consider going. First of all, I'm always going to say press listen to your body's cues, listen to your body first. But I would say no less than like 65 to 70% fat, to protein. That would be it. But I mean, most people, it's like 70 plus, between 70 and 80%. And this is calories, right? So 70 to 80% of your calories from fat, and about 20 to 30% of your calories from protein. That's pretty common.
Oh, thank
You're
you, Todd,
welcome.
Lindy, and Michael. Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hi, Catherine. I've been in SBG for 4 months. I've been delighted with the variety of individuals in the community and the very helpful insight from those involved. And where else can you talk about poop? Yeah, our favourite topic for sure.
I know I've been accused of talking poop before, but I've never been accused of poop talking. For sure.
Day 2, just ate some sardines with eggs. Still trying to figure out cravings and hunger, but I'm in for the long haul. Just eat. If you're hungry, eat. Keep eating. Keep it carnivore. Listen to your body.
Like Alyssa said today, feed your cravings red meat.
Sugar is an insulin roller coaster. Yeah, in my humble opinion. Yeah.
100%.
They've proven in studies that mice prefer sugar to cocaine, and so it's definitely physical addiction. Don't think there's any mice who emotionally need it.
That's a really good point, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Apparently, cocaine is more of a psychological addiction, unlike heroin. Heroin is more psychological. Yeah.
Isn't cocaine and heroin both opiates, though?
I don't know. I've never done drugs or never want to.
What's interesting is that cheese has dairy has casomorphine in it, which I believe is also an opiate. Yeah. If you look it up. Kind of interesting.
Maybe being addicted is a term when you're still partaking, and sober is when you're no longer partake. Okay.
That's very good. We are going to get to the bottom of this. We all have homework to do, people. We got me back here with your studies. I want to see them.
Here, let's take this one, Todd.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much.
How much did they pay you to do that?
Thank you so much, Carnivore.
You got everyone on the books.
All right, well, I have to do something. Hey, Lindy, look over there. So anyways, Lindy doesn't like us to talk about this. That's why I had to put her in timeout for a second, because me and Michael started Lindy a GoFundMe against her wishes. But here's why. Because Lindy's lost over 525 pounds. She's been strict carnivore for 3 years now, and she's gotten her life back. And so she was on a list to get skin reduction surgery in Melbourne there. She was on the list for over a year. And then her daughter suffered some medical issues, and Lindy had to start helping her daughter too. And so she wasn't able to work many hours, ended up kind of losing her job. So she wasn't going to be able to afford it. So she was just going to cancel it. And me and Michael said, no way. So we started a GoFundMe for it, because here's what drives me nuts about the medical system. So, and this isn't in the United States, it's in Australia, but same difference. It's crazy that it's so crazy that we can go out and eat sugar, get to 700 pounds, and the medical system will provide us health care to stay 700 pounds and to treat diabetes and home oxygen and all this stuff that you need to be sick, and they'll pay for that. But as soon as you get healthy and lose 525 pounds, and then you are stuck with like this 50 pounds of skin tumor, they pretend like that is a elective surgery and that you're doing it for vanity. And it is not for vanity, it's for health, because you can't have 50 pounds of skin that's dragging on you, causing infections and all sorts of damage. You can't have that. So anyhow, that's a failure of the medical system, one of many, many failures of the medical system. But with that in mind, we are so close. We have 4 more weeks to get to like this last 13,000. This is Australian, by the way, so there's a really good exchange rate between US because it's about 66% of the US dollar. So for every 66 cents, it's about a roughly 65 cents, something like that. It's about $1 Australian. These numbers are in Australian dollars. So, and we get that there, and we get Lindy to her goal, and she's got because her skin surgery is on February 6th, and she's got to pay for it 2 weeks before that. So we're right about 3 weeks, but I really think we're going to make it. We're doing fantastic. So if we never do this. If you've watched our show for very long, this is the first fundraiser or the first anything we've ever asked. We only ever give away stuff here and give away content, but this is important. So we called in the troops. And you guys are not disappointing. You guys are awesome. But if you can't, we totally understand it, man. It's tight for a lot of people, and a lot of people.
The holidays, yeah.
Yeah. But if you can, please, even every dollar counts. But even if you can't, just pass it along, put it on your social media, put the word out for us. We'd appreciate it and be so blessed if you do that. And and yeah, so that's how we stay carnivore, and so that's how those things have been working. And I don't know what happened to Lindy. Oh, there she is. She's back.
Bad internet, huh, Lindy?
Yeah. Whew. Anyway, moving on. Here you go. Nothing to see here.
Alcohol, holy sugar, it's certainly addictive.
100,
Yes, it is.
100%.
What is carne asada? Like,
It's basically, I think, skirt steak that's thin sliced, and then generally it's marinated in I forget what, like lime and some I think chipotle sauce or something and lime, but it's a Mexican steak, and then they flame grill it and they slice it in thin slices. It's really good. I used to love it all the time because they would flame broil the carne asada, but they have it in some kind of marinade. I forget what it is. I know it's lime and chilies and whatever. They marinate it, then they flame grill it. They slice it in thin slices. And then while they're flame grilling it, they flame grill some really hot jalapenos, right? So you get these flame blistered jalapenos. Oh, I love them so much.
They're
and
good.
Then, they're so good. And then you have that really nice flame broiled marinated steak slices that's real thin with the super hot jalapenos with the flame.
Did you eat yet?
I haven't eaten yet.
That's why you're getting into it.
I haven't eaten all day, actually, because I had to go set up the stand this morning, and then I went right into videos. But yeah, I mean, I just love, there's nothing better than the heat, like a really hot, like a really spicy flame blistered jalapeno. Man, those are good. I love jalapenos. They're so good.
I've become addicted to ribeyes and picanha. Please don't let me be ever cured. Yeah,
for sure.
Best addiction to have.
I'm right there with you.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's emotional addictions too. Yep, for sure.
There is. Yep.
For sure. That I have to give up to my spiritual life, clearing that up for sure.
Being compulsive is different to being addicted.
Okay, well, I have both of those in spades. So you tell me. So I seem to have the trifecta going on, because I am every bit as compulsive as I am addictive, for sure.
Yeah, maybe you just replace your bad health habits with healthy ones.
Yeah, and I think so. Although I don't think there's such a thing as a healthy addiction. I don't think you can have a healthy addiction. Because I think, in my mind, the definition of an addiction is something that you're not in control of. And so I don't know. This is why I really want to dig into this, right? Because do I have addictions? Or I like the extremes. I don't like moderation on anything. And while that bites me in the butt on food and bad decisions, I like what it does for things like I'm doing now. So the extremes have always been bad, when I put that energy into bad things that are destructive, but it's always had good results when I put that into constructive things. So, but it's surely not a balance for me. I have no balance. Never had balance in my life. So I don't know the answer to that. But I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm built for balance. I don't feel like I'm built to not live on the extremes because it just feels so boring to live on a balance. I don't know. I'd have to think of that about that one. But and that's not just me. That's my brothers. That's I've never seen that in our family. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'd love to know.
Question for each of you guys. How is your carnivore journey going? How long have you been on it and how much have you lost?
Okay, let's just do a quick recap. I am 2 years in and down 310 pounds. Lindy?
3 years, around 5, 10, 520. I don't know.
Awesome. Michael?
17 and a half months and about 160 right now.
160. So 310, around 500, 525 pounds for Lindy down. Not total, but down. That's what she lost. She's almost 800 pounds when she started. And Michael about 160 down. So what does that make? 5, 8, 9, 10. That's about 1,000 pounds down between all three of us.
That's awesome.
The 1,000 pounds free amigos.
That's a half ton of fun.
We lost one of us. Huh? Over one of us. Yeah.
Jeez. We could have made a whole couple of new people have a football team by now.
Right?
Many will laugh, but I've never been to Starbucks since I do not like coffee.
Well, you're not missing nothing. It's basically overpriced.
Sugar.
It's basically overpriced pompous diabetes. So there, you're caught up.
Especially with how much sugar they put in there and all the other stuff. Yeah.
For sure. I'm not sure what's more offensive, the sugar or the price.
I was kicking around starting my first fast. Just watched Chafee interview on the Primal podcast. Now I'm thinking I should hold off. Oh, yeah. I haven't watched that. What's he say?
I don't know. I know that Chafee's not a big proponent of fasting. Chafee basically says that we're always in some form of fasting and autophagy when you just eat meat, that it's not super necessary because we don't have elevated insulin and blood sugar that often, and it comes down much quicker. So we're always Cosette's trying to shake me down for meat sticks. Don't even do it. So, but here's the thing. Chafee's super healthy.
Yeah.
So the reason why
and he's always was. Yeah. So
yeah. And so I love Chafee. He's awesome and he's way smarter than I am. But what I can tell you from personal experience is I must fast because I think if I didn't fast, I would get to my goals. It would just take about 5 times longer.
Yeah.
I think when I do fast, the autophagy is so healing for my lymphatic system. I wouldn't be as in a bigger hurry to fast if it wasn't for the lymphedema and the lymphatic tissue that I'm dealing with, which has gotten so much better, and it gets so much better fasting. Nothing heals that fluid and gives my lymphatic system a break to catch up on the over demand like fasting does.
Yeah, I think he'd agree that fasting's great for people who have lots to heal. And like you said, he's like a Ken Barbie doll, isn't he? Like perfect in every way. So
he's ripped, and I love that. Him and Baker and Dr. Kiltz and those guys and RFK. I love that they are the beacon of health now because look at them; they're all ripped, and it's about time we stop letting the inmates run the asylum. We gotta be led by people that walk the walk and not a bunch of ideologically possessed, goofballs like we've been having. So,
and we're going to look like that in a couple of years' time. So yeah, we'll be up there. We probably won't need to fast either.
Depends on how good the surgeon is. Hey, can you take this extra skin, sew in some abs? Maybe some some pecs. You can take this and make a pec out of it. That'd be awesome. Do something with that. No, we'll see. But that's why we're here. And this is what I was saying before. Let all the trolls be trolls. I don't give a crap. I know that I'm still a 390-pound fat guy on YouTube talking about health, and I know how terrible that sounds. And most people will never know where we came from because they won't watch the videos long enough because they'll take his cheap shot and whatever. I don't care. But the big important thing is I'm going to be here until I get to those goals, until I get the skin surgery, until I get ripped. And then when I'm there, I'm giving you all the finger, all the trolls. I mean, all the trolls, because I'll have it all, you know, because I'm already I'm loving this. When somebody watches a video that I made 14 months ago when I was 150 pounds heavier or whatever, when they make a comment on that, you're never going to stick to this. It's not sustainable, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then I could be like, yeah, if only I had tracked my progress and made a video record of it and put it out online for everybody to see for the last 14 months. If only I had something like that out there. So I can't wait till there's another 2 years of this vlogged. So this is about making, and you guys all get to hold this accountable. You get to put us under the microscope. You get to hold us to task, you know, and we'll see where, you know, we're putting our money where our mouth is right now. And we're putting it out there, and we're going to see where this goes in the next 24 to 36 months and see. You guys are going to get to see if I get butt cancer, if I have a heart attack and my heart explodes on camera, if I get the weight off. Yeah, scurvy. You know, if I get any more gout or any of those things, if I go blind, right? All these things that they say that's going to happen. You guys are going to get to watch because we are, I don't know, I think I've been online on YouTube now consistently, you know, several times a week now for 15, 16 months, 17 months, maybe.
Exactly. Yep.
And you're going to get to see it. And I'm not going anywhere because I have a really obsessive personality. So we're in this for the long haul. You guys aren't getting rid of me. So everybody's going to get to see us all. And I love to put this out there. That's why we decided to do this while we were still a bit portly, so that we can make a record of it, and so that we can lead by example, put our money where our mouth is, and then we'll let the results speak for themselves. We'll let the diet be what it is. We're not going to try to talk you into anything. We're going to show you what it does, good, bad, or ugly. So that's what we're here to do.
Good, bad, or ugly. I like that.
Yeah.
If money is a big issue, so cuts of real meat is not available every day. It is better to eat frozen burgers that has soy protein in it, or is it eating salads would be better in this case?
No. Salads never better in any case. No. Yeah, they're not. So the best meat that you can afford is always going to be your best option, no matter what. Like eggs and ground beef are a perfect one to go to, and sardines even. Eggs, ground beef, sardines. Those are perfect to start at, and then use that for a little while. Start off by doing eggs, bacon, bacon on sale, eggs, ground beef, and sardines and those things, and then save your money and put a little bit together. And then when there's a sale on the steak and stuff, take all that money you saved and go buy it in bulk. Buy yourself a little freezer. Buy it in bulk and just kind of build up to it on baby steps, you know, because what you're going to find out is that you're going to save money in other places. I save money on toilet paper because I poop about 1/10 of the amount of times that I do. I save money on gas because I realize that I don't really go many places anymore because most of the places that I went to was to go get a drug or feed an addiction. Right. So now I don't drive near as much as I used to drive, and I don't have sick days. Also, like we talk about in the SBG gang, I'm much more efficient, and so I get more work done, which makes more money. And then I don't have desserts or snacks or drinks or sodas. I drink water and I eat meat and eggs. And then I don't buy medications. I don't have medications anymore, and I don't take Pepto-Bismol or any of the Tums or antacids or all that nonsense.
Or your chew.
Or my Copenhagen, or all that stuff, the sodas. I don't do any of that stuff. So all that stuff that we don't think about, I got all that money back. And so I just put that right back into meat. And that has allowed me to buy steak when it's on sale and just eat ribeyes. So.
Well, I don't eat ribeyes every day, but if I do, it's special occasion. I'll put in a bit of extra money and go and get a decent ribeye or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, don't worry. Eat frozen burgers. I'd say go for that for sure.
That's awesome.
And salads are not going to make you hungry. Like, they're not going to fill you up. You'll eat them
No.
and you'll be craving something more, and then you're going to end up turning to sugar because that's what happens. So just stick with the proteins.
For sure. Oh, here we go. 100% Todd, most days on carnivore dyslexic feel 15% instead of 85%. I don't stutter anymore. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
And I recognize those typographical errors because those are the ones I actually read in typographical errors. That's why that read so smooth. So that's awesome. I think I can read all your messages without skipping a beat because we're on the same dyslexic brainwave. That's awesome.
That's a scary thought, 2 Todds.
Exactly.
Read the broad study. They lost more weight than people who had surgery.
For sure. I definitely will read that. That's awesome. That makes sense to me. Okay, well, we're getting trolled. Remember I was talking about trolls?
Trolls.
Throw in some frozen New York steaks in there right now.
Ganging up on you, man.
Okay, I'm just blah, blah, blah. Peanut gallery over here chomping in. Thank you, Tim. Sort of.
Desire is a trap and liberation too.
Well, I kind of get what you mean there. That can make sense. Kind of goes with that picture of the suffer, and it kind of goes to what I mean. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. That's a very good point because we don't like balance. We like to go between 2 extremes, and to me, desire is an extreme, and liberation is an extreme. And balance is somewhere in the middle. And like Dr. Kiltz, one of my favorite things he ever said is the body doesn't like balance. It likes the active balance. It likes always being corrected. That's why we always find health and breakthroughs in stressors that cause us to correct and to correct an action. And that's where we seem to find health, trying to achieve a balance. But when you get balanced, I think that's where what is that word called? Homeostasis. I think that's where you fall into homeostasis, which is why I think they shake up exercises like in CrossFit and stuff. I love talking about carnivore. I drive people crazy. That's awesome, B-Dog. We just can't let them think we're in a carnivore cult like the vegans. We don't need Joe Rogan to start making jokes about us next. You know what I mean? Addictive personality or tendencies are that still addictions need to work your recovery. Carnivore is a recovery. Okay. Carnivore is recovery. Still need to work your recovery. See, every time I can just go back to this because this is where my brain takes me. So I'm not trying to be difficult, but if I understand working your recovery and that makes good sense, but also then working your recovery for me right now is abstaining. So then I'm also working my recovery on not becoming addicted to things that I never tried before. Like I am just an addictive person that is addicted to things that I have consumed and tried before, and also to things that I have not tried yet. But I'm still an addict to those things, I think is the only way I can boil that down. I don't know how I could define the two without boiling it down to that. So it stops being a target of the addiction and it starts becoming me as the addict, I guess, is what it would have to be. So interesting thought. I don't know. I mean, there's also, I'm just going to be straightforward. My faith plays a component in here, and I don't believe that you have to be eternally addicted to anything. I believe that was paid for me. So that's another part I'm going to be completely honest about because you guys need to know where my head's at. So, Doctor, you dropped elbows on a surprise. I would love to. We're going to do that for sure.
I'm a carnivore addict now. I don't ever want to go back to life before carnivore. Yeah,
Oh,
amen to that.
Amen.
Yep, I agree.
Dr. Robert Cyrus, the carb addiction doc, has great perspective on addiction. Okay.
All right.
I haven't watched much of him. Have you?
I haven't. We're gonna have to pull that up. Dr. Robert, what is that called?
Cyrus, I think.
Cyrus.
Yeah, I hear the name a lot. I do remember that. I watch so many people, but yeah, I haven't really clicked on many of his videos. The always and addict authorities in the recovery treatment industry are not in the carnivore community, so their thoughts about addiction come from the non-carnivore camp.
That's a good perspective to look at too. Then, yeah, I mean, and honestly, that's where my head went when I think it was Damon or somebody said that sugar anecdotally might seem like it's physical, but the studies say that it's not. I'm also thinking, well, yeah, I don't think that there would be any studies pointing sugar to, I don't think there's been any independent studies done of sugar, but I'm going to have to look into that. I shouldn't speak where I don't know for sure, but sugar has been shored up for so long because it's a drug and nobody wants to demonize, because look, sugar's the common denominator for all the big food companies that they use for their addictions for their food, right?
And they know exactly what it's going to do. You know all the studies they've done on this? They put it in there to get you addicted so you buy more. This is what they do.
Right. So all that I'm saying is we know that they haven't been honest about sugar that they're putting in our food and why we buy it. So why would they be honest about the
They put it in
studies
cigarettes.
Right.
They put sugar in cigarettes.
Right. So why would they be honest about the effects of sugar as to how it pertains to addiction and whether it's physical or psychological? That's one thing. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. And I agree with you that these studies haven't been done and need to be done correctly, unbiasedly, not bought and paid for and peer-reviewed studies by big food and big pharma, which are one and the same. We need to do it independently. But that's why it was such a good point when I pardoned the fact that I don't remember your name, but this said that being that the rats got to decide, they are not psychologically addicted to the sugar over the cocaine. It's just they are a physical addiction. So that makes a very, very good, strong point. That's why I really like that point. That's a very good one. So I don't know. I'm really liking this. I'm going to have to watch this back. There's been really fun information. This got my my rusty gears cranking up here. Post-holiday, I'm hearing everyone's stories about their regret for all of the indulgences and enjoying that for the first time I'm not among them. Feel good. Congratulations. I know exactly what you mean. One of my new compulsion addictions is stacking up these days of staying strong and not wanting to fall off because it feels good to drop those elbows on all those people that, not all the people, but your family that was like, you're really only going to eat meat, and then they're in there birching and farting and belching and having indigestion and going, oh, I feel so terrible. Oh, first of the year, we got to change our lives. And they go through the same thing that we used to go through. We all did for so long.
Yeah.
And then that's the time to poke them a little bit and say, see, I'm not a gassy wreck right now because I ate that crazy meat that you were talking about. So that's a good time to get in there on it.
There is a diagnosis of an addictive personality, which I believe is someone who can be addicted to all kinds of things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Winner. Right here. That sounds like me for sure.
So I know you talk about pickled jalapenos. Other carnivores I've heard talk about kimchi and sauerkraut. What is the deal with all these items?
Well, the long and short of it. So first of all, I'm going to give a disclaimer. Carnivore, in my opinion, is not a box that we put everybody in. It is, Jordan Peterson says it the best. It is a animal-based elimination diet. And the reason why you do any elimination diets, and especially coupled with animals, and even more so based off of ruminant animals, is because disease and sickness and pain seem to all be tied to, or the vast majority of the plagues plagues us seems to be tied to inflammation. Ruminant animals are the absolute least inflammatory diet you could possibly be on, right? There's like there is no better anti-inflammatory diet than ruminant animals. So you do an elimination diet, you do ruminant animals to get rid of all the inflammation. Then you also eat it with animal fats, which is so good for your hormones and your brain chemistry that your hormones balance and you get rid of that stuff. It helps free you from either cravings or addictions or gives you the willpower, whatever you want to call it. But you get free, you get the power to not eat the bad things, gets you off the carbs, gives you an off switch. Then your signaling starts to improve. Once you've healed up that far and you're free from inflammation, you start to see things heal, but then you can add things back in one at a time and you become your own N=1. And that's the beauty of an elimination diet, is that you can add things in one at a time. So the deal on pickled jalapenos and fermented kimchi is because fermented foods, which I too can have kimchi, doesn't, and I can also have sauerkraut in the ferments.
And I have had sauerkraut before.
Yeah, use it as a condiment, but don't make it a meal. Don't let it curb your appetite. Don't fill up on it. But you can use it as a little condiment if you want. But the reason that pickled things and fermented things in small order are okay is because those things seem to get rid of most of the oxalates, which is the reason that we have problems with most vegetables and fruits is the oxalates. Well, fruits is mainly the sugar and glucose, fructose, but the vegetables is mostly the oxalates, and both of them have oxalates in them. But so in small amounts. So what I found is that I try things one at a time. So for instance, I tried black pepper. Black pepper hates my guts. Black pepper I am terribly allergic to and causes a massive inflammation response. Can't have black pepper. But I tried pickled jalapenos. Not a problem. So if pickled jalapenos doesn't curb my appetite, in fact, it makes it easier for me to eat meat and fight palate fatigue and meat aversion, right? So it's a tool for me. And so I'm able to use that. Same with vinegar, which also kind of interesting side note, vinegar, even known as fermented, like apples, like apple cider vinegar or whatever, it actually breaks down to a short chain fatty acid. So that's really interesting because it's actually a fatty acid. So that's really kind of neat, which is why it's kind of interesting and it helps my digestion. But technically, if we're going to get into this carnivore box here, carnivore is 70% animal products and then 30% everything else, right? I'm talking like I'm 90, probably 8% animal products, and then a little bit of salt here, a little bit of pickled jalapenos here and there, a little bit of vinegar here and there, occasionally a seasoning. But it's an elimination diet. You can add things in, but right now, as far as most people find, as far as it's been true for me, things that are pickled and things that are fermented don't seem to have a reaction to me. Lots of things dried, freeze-dried, I have a better chance with, but some of them still get me. So I can't have garlic. I can't have black pepper. I can't have onion powder anymore. I can have freeze-dried onions in small amounts, but it's not even worth it anymore. Lettuce blew me up. I found out like not have lettuce. So just little things like that. And the lettuce was just an accident that I tried eating a In-N-Out burger wrap thing and lettuce, and I just thought, oh, lettuce can't hurt me that bad. I'm going to eat it. And then my knees all swelled up and I was like, I hate lettuce. So, but sorry, that was the shortest answer I can give to that. We're trying to do a rapid fire because we still have a whole bunch of questions to answer.
Hey, Jack, how's it doing? All addictions are genetic in nature. Please consider all addictions are from one extent to another.
Okay, definitely going to put that in there. Where you guys are all welcome. We're going to have a chat. And we're going to talk this out one day because we want to get to the bottom of this because I think there's a happy medium here we can all find because we seem to all be floating right around a core issue here, real close to it.
Maybe we should do those on Rumble because then we're not sort of restricted with what we can say.
There you go.
Because we have to behave here.
For sure.
Or you do anyway.
I do.
Yeah, there's a difference between being addicted to alcohol and abusing it.
For sure.
My mum wouldn't give up smoking and candy bars. She said that was what made her happy. She suffered from depression and she died from a stroke. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
It's sad, isn't it?
Very sad.
Yeah.
Similar to my dad.
Food Junkies by Dr. Vera Tarman is a wonderful book on food addiction. Okay, it's a new one. I haven't heard of that.
Definitely check that out. That's awesome.
These folks are carnivore legends, and so is Bill Not. No, we're just on a mission to get our health back.
Thanks so much, Papa Carnivore.
Thank you.
There we go. Definitely check that one out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you much, Charlie.
It's only because of you, Todd, Lindy, and Michael that I can do this. You guys are awesome.
Thanks so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. We're so happy, but
this is why we do this.
Well, and furthermore, you're going to do this, and you're going to be the reason why other people are sticking to it. And that's just the thing. That's how we're gonna create this tidal wave.
Todd, you healed your personality and tendencies with carnivore. Carnivore is your recovery. Once you stop being a carnivore, all those things will come back. Yeah,
I believe that. I don't disagree with a single thing you said there. I know for a fact, but see, this is where my brain goes into it, because if I wasn't carnivore by process of elimination, like, this is what always made me mad about the doctors. Like, we didn't tell him to eat the sugar or whatever. No, you said don't eat fat and animal products. You said don't eat fat and meat. What'd you leave me with? Right? Like, so the dietitians and stuff, and they want to push the calorie deficit nonsense. They want to demonize pretty much all meat, but mostly red meat. But even lean meat, to tell you to only eat 3 to 5 ounces a day or whatever nonsense, right? And they demonize that stuff. They tell you don't eat any of the fat. They pull all the fat out of everything. So if you're making people undereat protein, or if you're not making, but if your guidelines are to undereat protein, take away all of the fats, then what are we left with, right? Of course you're going to end up with sugar and fruits and all the oxalates and the junk, right? So with that in mind, I totally understand, because when I look at this, I'm like, yeah, I can't quit carnivore, because by default, if I'm not carnivore, then I'm going to go back. It's not being carnivore is akin to me in my mind of being the same thing as don't eat meat and fat. So yeah, I don't have any choice but to say this for sure. And I 100% agree with you that this diet and this carnivore way is the only way, the only thing that's made the difference that got me free. So for sure. But the question in my head is that because this is the way we're supposed to eat all along? Has addiction not been addiction, but addiction was a side effect from not eating an ancestral appropriate diet that we were built to function on? Is that where, because I have to think that, because the food addiction, the nicotine addiction, the gambling addiction, the caffeine addiction all dropped away on carnivore. And I only was hoping to fix the dietary problems. I had no idea that everything was going to come along with it, But I absolutely love that feedback. That is awesome.
One of the experts we listened to said one time, your why needs to make you cry. I think it's Dr. Lisa Wiedemann.
For sure.
Yeah. And we listened to her because she's been 14 years carnivore or something. So definitely want to listen to Dr. Lisa. Is it 14 years? A bit more.
Yeah, no, I was just deciding if I wanted to open up another can of worms here. All right, we'll save this can of worms for another time. But I agree and I disagree with that.
That's another live stream.
It is. I agree with it mostly. I'm just going to leave this real quick right here. My dad had a why, but he still died from an addiction. So, and he had an extremely powerful why. So did my brother Ty. And the food still killed him. So I think there's got to be something else. And I don't think that it's wrong. I don't. But I think when we think of it on a macro level of just diet, I think that it's wrong. because I think a why is almost akin to willpower, and I don't think either one of those. But I think your overall why of why are you here, why are you who you are, what is your worldview, I think that why is the ultimate why that definitely does. But I think on a macro level, which is where most people understand that comment like that, I don't think that that's enough, because I think we have to expand our why until our why and our worldview are the same thing, maybe. But that's probably for a different topic. But anyhow, another controversial topic that I love. Those are my two favorite.
Good tips. I don't think you all realize how influential you are to us out here. Great tips for eating in the kitchen.
Thanks so much. We appreciate you. And like I said, we're all influential. You guys don't know how influential you are. We see it every day in the SBG when you all get together in the open chats and in the NSVs. It's your guys' real life stories and it's your guys' examples that teach all of us. And me, Michael, and Lindy are a consolidation of knowledge that we've taken from trial and error through the ideas and other people's walks and examples in SBG and on YouTube. You know,
a comment like this. Look at, she's off all her blood pressure medicine. She's only down to 1 diabetes tablet, and she thinks she's reversed diabetes completely. So it's stuff like that that's just amazing.
That's awesome. You guys are
beautiful.
all 100%.
ADD and ADHD are the same things. ADD is an outdated term for which is now called ADHD. Some kids with ADHD have hyperactive behaviors and some don't, but the diagnosis is still ADHD either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. I think he's here. We'll go down to this one. Okay, well, we'll go here.
We do things that soothe us from the pain or shame. When those things themselves cause shame or pain, and then we do them even more for relief, that becomes a compulsion or addiction. Yeah.
See, I really like that because that's why I've taken on the two things, that the way is through, not around or backwards, and that's why we have to face the truth no matter what, because the best possible outcome is with the meaning is the truth. And that's why I think that gets us to our worldview, because I think ultimately the why is to have faith in whatever your faith is and in meaning, and that the best possible outcome is in truth no matter what. And that specifically for men, though, but I think for anybody, but I think specifically for men, that we have to have something higher than ourselves to sacrifice for and serve, because we're not good at doing that for ourselves. I rest somewhere in that ball of whatever that I'm trying to work out right now. but I really like that because that fits right in there, John.
I'm down 101 pounds and have reverse cured type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, fatty liver, IBS, migraines, acid reflux, arthritis, fatigue, depression, anxiety, and a lot more.
That's awesome.
Right.
Good job.
Right. Now,
Yay.
Here's what I'm talking about, and I'm not just fluffing everybody's feathers out here in the audience here. Literally, this is why I love the carnivore communities, and this is why I love that people get together and share this, because when have you ever heard one sorry son of a gun say, hey, the doctors put me on this medication and I'm down 100, and I'm down 101 pounds and have reversed and cured type 2 diabetes with high blood pressure, fatty liver, IBS, migraines and acid reflux, arthritis, fatigue, depression, anxiety. Dude, if you said that a pill did that to you, you'd be on every billboard from here to Kentucky, plastered on their Pfizer or whatever. I said the name and now I'm probably going to get a hard strike. Plastered on the side of some damn thing for these drug companies, and you'd be the absolute success story. But when we do it with ribeyes and fatty meat, they try to bury us in a hole and hard strike us because YouTube's communist. Yep. Sorry. But anyways. True. All right. Next.
When I was 420 pounds, my body couldn't do all the things that my mind would think of to do. Now that I'm healthy, my body wants to do everything, and sometimes I do too much. Yeah, the struggle's real, isn't it? For sure.
I know it is real, and that this is my third. Well, not in any particular order, but this is another topic, a third topic that is one of my favorites. Is this dogma about you have to eat less and exercise more to be healthy is bullcrap, and that laziness makes you fat. I believe that sickness makes you sickness and pain and struggle makes you less active, but none of us, our natural state for any of us, especially with a healthy functioning mind, is by innate nature wants to be idle or inactive.
Right.
And when we heal and we heal our mind, and it allows us to be creative and do all the things we want to do, and our mind is functioning, and we have health and energy and vitality to go do those things, nobody's going to have to tell any of us to move. Soon as I felt better, just like you're saying, I moved more, and the healthier I get, the more that I move, and sometimes it gets me in trouble too, for sure.
I have been on and off since July, and always watching your videos have always helped me get back on track. Having a community helps a lot. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
I appreciate it so much, and we are so happy that you come here and you can get back on track. And let's, I don't know, what did Dr. Phil say the other day that was awesome? You're falling forward, and so that's a good thing, right? Just keep coming back, keep getting back on track, and you'll get there. You'll get over the fulcrum point,
I'm thankful the YouTube algorithm brought me here. Such a good talk. Thank you. Oh, welcome, Steph. Lovely to have you here.
Appreciate it so much. We do it every Sunday. We also have a live stream with Bella's Steak and Butter Gal on Fridays for the SBG game. We also do one with Healing Humanity, Carrie Mann and Adam and the Healing Humanity gang on Thursdays. And we're going to be kicking off some more stuff here coming the first of the year. So stay tuned.
Busy. You can't exhibit addictive behaviors to a substance unless you're exposed to that substance, says J. Wesley Boyd, MD, PhD, an assistant professor at Harvard Medical School.
Well, he needs not underestimate Big T. I might be able to observe some behavior that'll change his hypothesis. Because I think I might be able to put a chink in his algorithm there. Because I'll tell you what, there's a few things that I can look at and go, never tried it, not at all, guaranteed I would go off the deep end with that. Here's an example. I have to cover up some names because I think what happened may or may not have been slightly illegal. I allegedly dislocated an ankle snowboarding, and allegedly didn't want to go to the doctor. Well, I did go to the doctor, but
just the time you saw your ass?
No, that was the time I saw my ass. That's when I dislocated it. Yes. Okay. That is when I dislocated the ankle. I went to the doctor for that. They fixed my ankle, got it back up. But after that, I would get gout in that ankle. And I did not know that it was gout the first time that I had it. So the first time I got gout in that ankle, it was the worst thing. Man, it hurt so bad. And it was excruciating pain. And it wasn't too long. It was about, 11 months after I dislocated that ankle. Allegedly, all those things allegedly. But anyways, allegedly a certain person that I knew, because I didn't want to go to the doctor when I got the gout, but I couldn't sleep and I couldn't even focus, gave me some Vicodin so that I could take it. And so I was taking the Vicodin as it said on the bottle of this alleged person. And I was taking that Vicodin and the pain had gone away after 3 days. However, even though I was not in pain at all, my brain was screaming out loud for me to take the Vicodin on the dot every 8 hours as the bottle told me.
Get hooked on it, man.
Yeah, and it only took me 3 days, and I realized because I was like jonesing for the Vicodin on day 3, I was like wanting it bad. Oh. I realized, holy crap! I in 3 days I managed to get addicted to Vicodin, and so I had to stop. And it was a hard 2 weeks. I actually went through some withdrawals just after being on it for 3 days, I went through some withdrawals and I was moody and cranky and I hated life. And that was the reason that I never got into drinking or drugs of any kind, because just 3 days on Vicodin for my ankle, I could tell that I would be an absolute junkie. So I don't know what all the drugs are out there. Have no clue. The only other time that it was even close to that was they gave me morphine when I was getting an epidural for knee surgery. That was one of the greatest feelings I've ever felt in my life, was that morphine when it hit my spine. I mean, what an instant relief of all anxiety and stress and worries. Like all of a sudden you went from worrying about everything, including surgery, and you just like, you didn't care, like nothing mattered. And then I did find my natural laid back state was just really funny, because that was when I told the little short Filipino nurse not to be a hero.
Which trying to hold you up.
Yeah, there's a little short, like I was 600 pounds and I was sitting on the edge of this thing all high on morphine. They're trying to shoot me in the spine, and I'm on the edge of this gurney. They got me leaning all the way forward. And there's a little short, like 5 foot, 100-pound soaking wet Filipino nurse with one little tiny hand on each one of my shoulders. And as soon as that morphine drip hit me, I just started laughing, because I'm looking at the hilarious of this scene, and I'm just imagining every cartoon I've ever seen of me just pancaking this little nurse. Yeah. And so I said, "Hey, lady." She looked up, because she's like pushing really hard and looking down, like pushing on my shoulders. I'm like, "Hey, lady." And she looked up, and I said, "If I start to go, don't be a hero, save yourself." And then when I said that, all of a sudden the anesthesiologist that was shooting me in the spine, he let out an audible laugh, and he had to put down the needle for a minute and compose himself. I was laughing so hard. So my natural state is to be a jokester. So, because I found out that, because isn't that what they say? Well, like when you drink, it'll tell you who you really are, and when you get into,
because you let go of everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I still find everything hilarious when I'm buzzed. Yes.
I also put my ADHD into full remission, and I'm off all meds. I used to take a handful. Oh, wow.
Yeah, think about how all the medications that you're not buying right now, because you just healed like 10 problems, you know? It's incredible.
Learning to love yourself is a lifetime process. Be gentle. Absolutely. Yeah.
It takes a lifetime to love yourself too.
Yeah. Great words, Crystal.
17 years sober for me as well. Congrats, awesome, Tim.
Except for you got this really nasty street drug addiction to frozen meat.
I was just going to say that. We need to get him off that now.
Yeah, he's rebasing frozen beef.
Oh, Dave Mack will be interviewing you on January 3rd. Video will post a few days later. Yay.
Oh, awesome.
Can't wait to see it. When Dave Mack's coming on here, when?
27th. Is that your 26th of January? Australia Day. Yeah, he's coming on our channel as well. We'll be here with us.
Yeah, so we got some special ones coming up, actually, the next few episodes. So so Dave Mack will be here for one of them.
Oh, thanks, Papa Carnivore.
Thanks so Proud of you too, buddy.
Oh, absolutely. Papa John. You kind of look like Papa John. Papa Carnivore is killing it.
Todd's
Papa Smurf.
Todd hasn't eaten. And Todd's also fighting oxalate dumping.
Praising the Lord. Christmas Day was my first day of no meds and no supplements. Yay.
Awesome.
Good going.
So awesome. Well done. That is an absolute blessing and miracle.
I feel the best online way of eating. Yay.
Awesome. I hate your guts, Michael. I got to start watching for implants.
I actually watch it on the big screen on my TV. I guess screen cast my phone so I could see it big. And my birds are dancing with you.
You know, this guy could be doing so many good things with his talents. And what does he do? He uses his powers for evil. That's what he does. He uses his powers for evil. That's actually one of my favorites now.
I love it.
You see Dr. Baker?
I do. I
Yeah.
see Dr. Baker. I see You Made Me Stewie and Peter.
Oh,
and
look at the photos on the back wall.
I hate your guts right now. Oh, you're such a.
But Tim's not here, so we're safe.
Tim's here. Tim's already photoshopping that and making prints at Instaprint.
No,
Send
he
it
went
to
to,
me,
he went to
Michael.
bed. He went to
He's
bed.
gone to bed. Yeah, but Michael will send it to me and I'll pass it on.
You're such a jerk. See what I mean? He uses his powers for evil. That is my favorite, though. That's the best one you've done.
Yeah, the little Todd video is hilarious. For sure. Oh, how close? I don't know.
3 weeks. She needs Lindy needs about 13,000 in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
February 6th is her surgery.
That's her surgery, but she has to have the
Right,
payment
had the
in
money before then, right?
2 weeks,
2 weeks
before.
before. Yeah.
So we got about 3 weeks to get the next 13,000, and then we're there. So, yeah, I'm sorry if we're gonna Lindy go la 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 la. Yeah, sorry if we start sounding like I'm pushing it out, but I am gonna push it hard over the next 3 weeks to get to that goal because we're too close.
One less thing that she has to worry about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Rats can become sugar dependent under certain circumstances, e.g. fasting. Tolerance has not been convincingly demonstrated, and applying rodent addiction to humans is controversial at best. Yeah.
Well, that'd be really interesting to see then. You know, there's also another thing. I don't know, Damon, Brett Weinstein talks about using rats as lab rats for human testing. And he talks about how over the years they bred a certain species of rat, and he did a paper on it. It's very interesting. I think he broke this on Joe Rogan, but he talks about how over several generations of rats, they developed rats with elongated telomeres for test rats, which has really been handy for the drug companies and stuff, because I guess it makes them more resistant to the side effects from the drugs, right? So that means that they'll have better case studies of side effect free drugs that'll pass testing to get passed out and put in there for human consumption. And that made this strain of lab rats with elongated telomeres kind of a gold mine for this certain genetic code of lab rats. Anyhow, you'd have to watch it. I'm speaking over my pay grade here, but it was really interesting. But that always makes me wonder about that. But you should check out Joe Rogan and Brett Weinstein's talk about that. And also Brett Weinstein and Eric Weinstein, they're brothers, and they had a good episode about that, I think, once as well. He kind of blew the whistle on it. There he is.
Oh,
He should be on his way home, I think. He's finished work now. Yeah, I love the Todd Chrissy video.
He is such butt.
there could be a New Year's one.
Oh, great. Great. You better, if this happens, we're going to make a mini series out of these.
This is like the TV beat show, The Biggest Loser, Carnivore style.
Only we're not going to relapse, and nobody's going to be out here flipping tires.
Speaking of which, another guest speaker in January is Adrian. She was on The Biggest Loser in the US.
Yeah.
So she's coming to visit us again. She's lovely. So
yeah,
it'd be nice to have a chat with her.
That's awesome. Oh, and we're going to be on Dr. Kilt's here shortly, aren't we?
Yes, I think, was it the 30th?
30th, yeah.
Or was it, yeah, my 31st, something like that.
30th,
Yeah.
30th US.
Yeah, we have a few more people coming on too, so we're amping it up. We got our first year, a little year plus of YouTube under our belt, and now we're going big time. Not really, we're not really, but we're gonna have some of our friends on. We've been blessed to make some friends in the carnivore space that we're gonna bring in just for fun because we like chatting. So
I've been a follower of Todd since he wanted to be a walking bicep.
What do you mean since? I always want to be a walking bicep. That's awesome. I appreciate Carnivore Hercules. You're awesome, man.
I love you all. I love you all. I love saying that. Banter. It's fabulous. Probably doesn't sound as good in an Aussie accent, though.
No, it flows actually. You do pretty good.
Does it? Oh.
So it's those Canadians that don't pull it off real well, eh?
For my birthday in Jan, I'm going to join the Steak and Butter Gang. Thank you for
Awesome.
helping earlier. Oh,
That's awesome.
say hello when you.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah.
No, I was
What he said.
yeah, well, I was absolutely saying that. Say hi to us when you're in NSPG. You come visit us in the Chew the Fat open chat, and then say hi to us in the NSV. So love to have you. It'll be great.
When to start worrying about Todd? If he stops bringing up controversial subjects, then you will know it's bad.
True. True. Does Todd have a pulse? I think he's dormant right now. It's very true.
Just had a note to check the ingredients in the patties and frozen patties. Some are filled with lots of junk.
For sure.
Yeah. Always check the packages.
Yeah,
sure.
I look at food right now like I have the same rules for food as I do guns. They're always loaded. So check and make sure, what ammo's in them every time. They're always loaded. Every gun's loaded, and every product that you buy at the store is full of crap until you prove it otherwise. And then even still be a little leery.
Even though I'm in a lot of pain, I've noticed I can work further and do more. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
And
awesome.
Annabella has a channel. I saw Michael put the link in, but she does a lot of cooking videos. So if you're on a budget or whatever, please visit Annabella and check out her channel.
Absolutely.
Catherine, do you all know if Dr. Baker has a meal planner guideline calendar for World Carnivore Month?
Stay tuned. We can't divulge anything yet, but stay tuned. That'll be coming out on the 3rd, so that you know exactly what is involved. But we can't spill the beans. That's insider information. It'd be like insider trading. We can't do it. Can't do it here.
You can watch our last live stream with Bella because she does say a few things in there.
True.
So you can.
Friday. It was a Friday live stream.
Yeah, our last one. But he will be joining us in SPG. My sugar addiction is strong. There is a supplement that stops or minimizes. Is there a supplement that stops or minimizes cravings, or is there a medication like Anabuse that they give to alcoholics? Well, my magic pill is red meat.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what gives me the off switch that I never had. But you've got to, it doesn't happen overnight. You've really got to push it. Just keep eating that beef and meat, whatever carnivore foods you can. Just keep eating it until you can't eat anymore. And that switch will just happen. But it takes a while. It does take a couple of weeks.
For sure.
Push through it. Eat like it's your job. 18 months carnivore, no more symptoms of liver disease. I've had yellow skin and eyes since a child. Managed with supplements and regular checkups. Gone, 100% gone. My other NSV are also amazing. Oh,
awesome.
Right. I know.
So good.
I'm going to say it again, but show me the pill that did that for anybody ever.
In 18 months' time,
Yeah. Incredible.
I prayed so much about carnivore before I started. Carnivore and God, plus my determination, our community is why I'm doing so good.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
100%.
Wanting to do some 3-day fast, but my hair is still falling out horribly. Thoughts? I have been on a stall for close to a year. Other victories, so carnivore all the way. I just need to lose.
With your stall and with losing hair, I think you're still under eating. I think you got to eat more, and you should not be fasting.
No, for sure.
For sure. I forget, Simpson John, are you in SPG?
I believe so.
I thought so too.
Cynthia.
Dissing at Canadians, what are you talking about? Sorry, I had to put the boot in there. Oh, you did too. I didn't even see that. That's hilarious. Exactly. That's how I hear all Canadians in my head. And some of my, I mean, Jordan Peterson's my favorite person outside of family on this planet, and well, outside of family and friends and a few other people. But he's in like the top 20. But he's a Canadian.
We see where we're at, Lindy.
What? You guys don't think I meant you as family, huh? I see where I'm at. Yeah.
Simpson's just responded, no, she's not in SBG, but thinking of it.
Yeah.
So
I think
definitely under eating. I lost a lot of hair from under eating, and also I wasn't eating enough fat. So I had to increase both, and my hair's now stopped falling out, but I'm now just waiting for it to all grow back. It's still very thin.
That's awesome. All right. She's going to say hi to us in there. Red meat and fat. I take bites of butter whenever I have a craving hit. That's a way good way to do it. All right. Did I catch up on the star comments?
Yes.
That is fantastic. I didn't think we were getting to the bottom of that. You guys are awesome. We did it. We did it.
We did it. 2 minutes over.
There was 69 at one time. Huh?
Yeah, for sure.
I saw 72.
But it wasn't that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was huge.
So we're going to be here all night.
I know. That's why we started doing the rapid fire. But you guys are awesome. And we will be back. I don't know. We're going to definitely be back next Sunday. I don't think we're going to be doing anything on Friday this week because me, Bella, and Max are going to be traveling.
Yeah, that's cancelled. Thursday with Healing Humanity.
I'm going to see. The Healing Humanity is definitely going to be on. You should definitely go. I don't know that I'm going to be there. I'm going to try real hard to be there, though. But I'm going to try to do that first or pull over and do it from my truck for a couple hours on the side of the road. So I'm going to definitely try to be there. So hopefully, guys, hopefully we'll see you Thursday on the Healing Humanity live stream. And then we'll be back. We'll be in SBG tomorrow. So we'll see you there in the open chat and also in the priming fasting call. So,
and if you're joining us for your 5-day fast next week, prime. Just eat like it's your job for the next couple of days.
For sure. If you don't feel like you almost bit one of your own fingers, you're not eating enough. Like, get in there, get her done. So, well, that's awesome. We appreciate you guys. We love you. We will see you next time. So you guys have an awesome. Oh, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
See you next time.
See you next year. Bye, guys.